Let's see. What's up, party people? It is a little lovely Saturday. I just woke up because I spent last night playing Final Fantasy VII till, what, 8 in the morning, I think? How's everybody doing this happy little Saturday? There may be spoiler talk in here for Stranger Things, since we just had the one episode this time around, but we'll see. That shit was insane. Let's see. Skelly, another Saturday live. It's like a reward to finally get the next one. Annalise, from freezing cold Norway, how are you? I am doing good. I am a little drained from all of the craziness, and some of the I wouldn't even call them takes, the brain deadedness around this season of Stranger Things. It's one of those situations where it just exposes a lot of disgusting people and a lot of their disgusting opinions. It's hate. It's what it is. It's certainly not perfect, but my God, there's people that they want to complain about an agenda, yet their entire existence is perpetuating one themselves. Anyway, that aside, anyone found out where the stone with the Mind Flayer dust came from? No. It's very lightly and partially explained in the play, but it's something that they've said is going to be explained more. It's not exclusively tied to the Mind Flayer, but it's going to be explored more in the upcoming spinoff. What's up, Christian? I'm on season 4 of Stranger Things. Only seen episode 1 so far, with the last thing I saw being Vecna getting introduced and brutally killing that Chrissy girl. Chrissy, I don't like this. What a way to introduce a villain. You're damn right. You are damn right. The stone will be revealed in a spinoff coming soon, according to the Duffer Brothers. And for the spinoffs as well, they're only going to be shepherding. They're not going to be show running, writing, directing, only executive producing. They are moving on to other things. How do you feel about getting Stranger Things getting spinoffs? Hey, as long as it makes sense, I'm totally down with it. The thing is, this story is over. Well, I guess barring the animated series that's coming out next year, that kind of it's giving us a little additional story in the mix of things, because there's that animated series that is coming in to give us an adventure with the kids we didn't get to see between seasons 2 and 3 that takes place there. That's a little weird. That's a little but I mean, like, when you look into the grand scale of things, like this other world, these other dimensions, these creatures, the Mind Flayer, and anything else that might be like it or different, there's infinite possibilities of what to explore with the fact that this open, because the existence of the Upside Down and the Mind Flayer and all this stuff, like, it opens the door to an infinite realm of possibilities of things to explore. Or Sunday, if you are ahead. True, it is Sunday for some people right now. What's up, Dirty Artist? How are you? Gavin, Mike, Jazzy, how's your New Year's? Were your cats nervous because of the fireworks? Honestly, I didn't hear any fireworks where I'm at. Yeah, if there were any fireworks, I did not hear them. On 4th of July, most certainly we do, but you know, I didn't hear a single firework when New Year's popped off. So they were pretty much just normal that night. What's up, Sabrina? What's up, Tia? How is you? Suggested. Like Stranger Things finale, same. Again, there's a lot of like imperfections, but I had a absolute blasty blast with it. I do feel like, and this isn't indicative of everybody, but I just feel like people, and I've said this about other things, I just feel like people have forgotten how to have fun and just kick back and have a damn good time, because that finale was a damn good time, and then the last hour was just emotional torture in a good way though. I'm playing Sonic X Shadows Generations right now. I'm on the second act of one of the last levels. Well, hell yeah. I haven't gotten to play that one yet. Actually, honestly, I haven't played Sonic Generations either yet. But I did pre-order it because I saw the limited run bundle for it and pre-ordered that. I know those always come so much later after the game releases. I just got an update on my order because I just like the collector's piece for it. So still waiting on that. And once I'm done with Final Fantasy VII, that's going to open the door for me actually playing other games again. Yeah, the finale was crazy. The show was some Stranger Things. Have I eaten today? Not at all, because I just woke up at 3:30, took a shower, and here I am. I wish the bats came back, though, from Season 4. Again, this is one of those situations where I was like, the Duffers probably, I don't know if they're fucking with everybody or they're not taking these interview questions all that seriously, but like the answer they gave is weird because I feel like there's no reason to have Demogorgons or the bats or the Demodogs in the upside or not in the abyss, because the Mind Flayer needed to make that body out of something. It doesn't have a body. And what happened in Season 3? It used whatever accessible meat to do that. So I'm under the impression, because there's literally only one option, is that was made of any and all life forms that existed in that plane to create that massive body. One of my local coffee shops had an upside down themed drink. It was chocolate strawberry flavors. They stopped having it yesterday, but I got to have it twice. It was really good. Was it just like the colors and the mixing, the blending of the chocolate and strawberries? Was it like visually enticing? I liked the epilogue of Stranger Things. I'm pissed they canceled that 90s show. Me too, man. I was so... And the fact that we ended on... the last place we left off was that cliffhanger. Sucks. Sucks so hard. Let's see. Sorry for your loss. All good. It sucks. It still weighs pretty heavy on me right now, but... Getting through it. She is greatly missed, man. What's up, Kayan? How are you? Happy New Year right back at you. We were chatting about the stone last night in the chat, and I hope they explain it further because I have my theories about it. Yeah, it's perfectly fine. I don't think we need to know anything about the stone. With everything we've seen up until this point, for this story, we don't need that information. There's a little confusion about needing things to be every single thing explained. When you watched Alien, yes, you had questions about, oh, who's this big, gigantic, like, pale dude? What is this big horseshoe-shaped ship? What are all these eggs? Where'd they come from? Where were they going? You never know. Hell, to this day, we never know. You don't need to know everything. There's no reason to know everything, especially about the unknowable. Even our scientists who have been poking around with this other world are still just guessing. No one knows everything about any of this stuff. Our gang doesn't know everything about any of this stuff. But they have to deal with it all the same. Like, I'm so over the idea that like every single thing needs to be spoon-fed to everybody. Especially when for a lot of the questions people have, there are answers in the show. Anyway. Happy New Year, D. Cole. Yes, yes. The animated spinoff, or there's another one. There's an animated spinoff coming out next year. And then there is a live action one coming out at some point in the future. It's going to be with all different characters, a whole new setting, and it's going to be exploring a new mythology. Which again is like what I'm talking about. Is like, just because the Mind Flayer is out there doesn't mean the Mind Flayer is the only thing out there. There's a multitude of other things that could be out there. We could have a Gith parallel in there, and I'm wondering if they would keep the D&D motif at all with, you know, with the kids being absent. I wonder what happened to Dr. Owens. Well, last we saw, he was arrested. I know in the military and how they've been, I don't know what they would do. He knows so much. I hope he gets to just go back to his retirement. Because of how frequently and ingrained he was in everything, sure, yes, he was retired, but when it came to what was going on with Vecna, with the Mind Flayer, with 11, I would have expected him to be in there. That is one of my hang-ups is, again, I don't need everything explained, but I feel like Owens not getting like at least a mention was I thought that was weird. It's not already known. Would you like the spinoff to be a sequel or a prequel? Probably a prequel, I would say. Something around the time of them doing those experiments, I would think would be kind of fun. I would be okay with either, but it just depends on how they need to navigate it. I like the finale of Stranger Things, but definitely some plot holes. None that ruined it. Like, again, I answered the Demodogs. That's, again, there's a confusion on the term plot hole. People say plot holes. There's things we don't know. That is not a plot hole. A plot hole is when something happens that is counter to what we've seen before. And that we have like I said, there's an in-universe answer for this, and it is obvious. And they also floated it themselves, even though they also contradicted it themselves. They were almost there, but it's just like I cannot think of very many actual plot holes, other than a couple of little logical leaps, I think, to make that ending as ambiguous as it needs to be. But that's part of it, because some of the things don't always add up, and that creates the mysticism and the debate around that the final thing, the fate of a particular character. Very sorry of the loss of your kitty, Michael. Thank you so much, Christian. That was a hard day. Also, counterpoint, if you brought an army with you, what happened last time? Will took control. Sorry. While Vecna was dealing with everybody else, they wouldn't have the wherewithal to maintain control of the army anyway. All they would be doing is handing our team more weapons. And at this point, this group has been such a pain in the ass. If I was the Mind Flayer and I had this giant kaiju ass body, I'd also be like, you know what? Fuck these kids. I'm gonna kill them. No more generals, no more little mutts, no more soldiers or foot soldiers. I'm getting this done. He didn't, but still. Like, come on. Jesus Christ. What's up, Nikki? Hope you're doing well. I'm having a hard time getting past season 3, 12 of X-Files. I have a fear of these, but I will do my best to get through it. Oh shit, which one's that? I have an idea. Oh, that's because I put season 3, season 12 instead of episode. It would help if I actually put the show. Oh, yeah. Dude, this episode's so good though. It's so funny. But I understand. I get that. The bug fear. does make watching that episode very difficult. But it's definitely a fan favorite episode, that's for sure. War of the Carophages. The Copperphages. What's up, Bianca? How are you? Can't wait to see a reaction to it. Welcome to Derry. Skarsgård's performance as Pennywise is incredible. I can't wait to check it out. I'm really looking forward to diving into that. Just got to figure out what I need to do here once we get around to it. Let's see. What's up again? D Cole, first Saturday of the year. How's it going, my dudes? Could always be a little bit better, especially given recent circumstances, but all in all, doing all right. As a fan of the show since 2017, I didn't like the ending. I thought it was emotional, but because of the nostalgia, there's so many doors that weren't closed or not properly. This is my opinion. I mean, there are some that are like I do respect and also lament the fact that there are a lot of things that are like, oh, that's up to you to decide, which is very true of a lot of different things. But yes, there are a lot of things that like are just kind of unanswered. And again, I don't think everything needed to be. I think everything we needed for this story was answered. Anything else to me is just would have been nice to know. Don't need to know. I would have liked to know. I would like some of these answers, but this story is about them, and like a D&D campaign, sometimes your players don't learn everything by the end. And that's life too. Sometimes you don't get those answers because you're not involved in the source of those answers and where they would come from. And some of the answers I don't think are, again, integral to the actual end of the show by any stretch of the imagination. People from the crew were catching bodies all over the place. Who do you think gets points for whoever was left in the army base when that happens? Wait, what? I think gets the points for whoever was left in that army base. Oh, I don't know, man. That's a good point. I'm not really sure. What happened to Susie? I wonder, did Dustin and her break up? I would have to assume so. I mean, we had an 18-month time jump from the last bit, and he's been pushing his own friends that are here with him away. Most certainly, he pushed her away and got lost in the sauce. And I mean, she was already not even allowed to talk to him, so there's a whole other spiel there. And like summer camp flings and all this kind of stuff, that wasn't going to last. They were across the damn country and all this kind of stuff, but I can only assume they broke up. If he's not hanging out with his friends, if he's pushing his in-person friends away, there's no way he's maintaining any kind of healthy relationship there. So again, one of those things where I would have liked to have known, but you can infer from the story very easily what happened. Neighbors were setting off like 20 fireworks at once, and it was killing me. That's a little excessive. 2026 is so much content. Oh my God, like 15 different TV shows, 6 great movies coming, and I will be seeing. I need to look at what's coming out this year because I always forget. I know we got Brand New Day, Doomsday, Supergirl, Clayface. There's just so much other stuff too that I just forget about. Show-wise, again, I always forget Daredevil season 2, final season of The Boys, next season of Invincible. We got Wonder Man at the end of this month, which I don't know if I'm going to watch or not. One Piece live action comes back this spring as well. Got a lot of stuff coming. Remember screaming "what" at the end of Gravity Falls season 1. Very valid. Very fucking valid. Doesn't it feel refreshing to see banger show after banger show on Prime Video for the past year? Yeah, Prime has been killing it. Also, speaking of Prime, can't wait for the next season of Reacher. But yeah, Prime's been knocking it out of the park, man. From animated series to live action stuff. Digging it. Wait. I think I read that without putting it up. Anyway, also, Will should have felt what was happening to the Mind Flayer. Nah, no, he shouldn't. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. Even the Duffers don't seem to agree with me. because they've shown multiple times that he doesn't actually physically feel it anymore. The last time he's felt what the Mind Flayer feels was in season 2, when the Mind Flayer's particles were actually in him. Ever since then, he doesn't feel it. He says, I feel what they feel, but I think that more means I know what they feel. He knows. You know, that's very different than physically feeling it. Otherwise, when he killed all of those Demogorgons, he would have killed himself. And obviously that didn't happen. And any other time that he's tapped into it and it's happened, or when they fought it in season 3, nothing happened. It shouldn't affect him at all. He's hacking into it more than he's a part of it at this point, which is a different thing. And also he's reusing he's pushing back and wielding it. It should not affect him the same way. Absolutely not. Love when the show, but I love the show and it won't change no matter how much I didn't like the ending. However, I thought Elle's ending was tragic and emotional. I liked it too, yeah. And I understand the reasoning behind that decision as well and what it represents and stuff like that. A lot of fun stuff that could come out of that, and a lot of important messaging that can come out of that, and the interpretation involved with it as well is a lot of fun. Yeah. I'll tell you, I'm still up in the air, but I think I definitely lean more towards I don't believe. I want to believe, but I don't know that I do. I'm already on your Patreon now. Spent a lot of yesterday watching Dead Boy Detectives full lengths. I saw you comment on one of them. Yeah. Hope you're enjoying. That show was surprisingly charming. I think and I'm sure a lot of people definitely underestimated it. Obviously, the trailers weren't great for it, admittedly, but I had a blasty blast watching. The first couple episodes were a little rough, but I think by the second or third episode, I think I was locked in, if I remember correctly. What's up, Shano? How are you? I'm doing good. Let's see. I hear the loss of Mimi. My condolences, by the way. Anyway, what a finale of Stranger Things. What is your favorite season of Stranger Things? For me, it will be season 5. My favorite overall season is probably 4. I think 4 is my favorite season. Like when we're looking at everything. Between seasons 2 and 3 is the only time you can give us additional regular status quo stories. 1 and 2, 11 was with Hop, and 3 and 4, they were all split up. 4 and 5, they were caught up with Vector. That's a good point. I didn't even really consider why this point, or what story they could possibly tell. I know we're gonna be seeing new creatures, which is weird, but we'll see how it goes. The fake out with Steve was mean though. How dare they test my heart? Yeah, that was purely to just to get us on the edge of our seat. They knew what they were doing there. But somebody, I mean, that tower was collapsing. It wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make any sense if no one fell off. But yeah, they knew what they were doing with Steve. But that gave us a really, really good moment, I think, which I liked a lot. And one that I didn't know I needed. Saw the new Jack Black and Paul Rudd Anaconda movie. How was that? I saw the original Anaconda 3 times in theaters. I've seen that movie so many times. But I have not seen this film yet. Obviously, I have not been to the theater much well, I was gonna say this year, but that obviously in the last year. That's probably a better way to say it. When 11 closed the gate and sacrificed your son, upset, sad she died, how much you question? I mean, by that point, I'd kind of already expected that was the route that was going to go. They had been setting it up quite a lot by the end of it. The open-endedness of it is, like I said, like there is the possibility that is the ending. And I like how Gaten Matarazzo is kind of put it. I think the point at the end of this show is that all of the kids are okay. And to him, that includes 11. So he truly does, out of universe, believe as well. I'd like to, but it's just like, I don't know. I just, for whatever reason, I don't. What's up, Bryce Cake? Happy New Year. It's been a while since I've been on these streams. Hope you're doing well. Welcome back. I don't feel like it's been that long, but then again, time is crazy. A rule of media is show, don't tell. This is part of why the writing was rushed this season. So many people were confused. They had to confirm or deny things in interviews. And again, the things that they have to confirm or deny, I don't know why it's confusing or why it's that big of a deal for a lot of people. There's like one or two things where it's just like, oh, what happened here? What's this? And I'm just like, again, no shade on anybody else that feels this way. Everybody's allowed to feel how they feel. I just don't feel like any of those questions are important and are unanswered in the show, because they are answered in the show. They're just not told to you, and I don't think we need to be handheld through everything. I'd rather a show reward us for paying attention and using our collected knowledge throughout all of this to fill in whatever gaps. Everything else is information we would like but don't need. I don't know that there's any missing information that we absolutely need for the story. At the end of the day, the story's about the kids. All of our characters and trauma and healing and evolving and letting go and accepting and moving on, and everything else is completely irrelevant to that. It's just a vehicle to get them to that point. I mean, now that you say that, you're probably right about the Hive's body. No, I'm almost certain I'm right, even if the Duffers don't agree. I think because the way they're acting about certain things, I'd like to think a lot of their answers are unserious. Because the way they've been acting in the interviews, I think they're also kind of shocked that some people are that hung up on certain things. So part of me wants to think that some of their answers are them just kind of being coy and or tongue-in-cheek, or just, you know, they're taking it unseriously. Because I feel like at the end of the day, I don't know. I feel like not everybody, but some people are focusing on the wrong things about the story. Again, it's not the strongest season, like if you're looking at it as a whole, for sure. But it is not this like abomination either. I've watched abomination television. It is not that. I still don't know where I don't know where I'd rank it overall though. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. I mean, I don't know. That's a topic for another time. The first 6 months alone, we have Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, Wonder Man, Daredevil Born Again Season 2, The Boys Season 5, Invincible Season 4, Mandalorian, and Grogu, Supergirl, and more. I'm also super excited for whenever you get around to reacting to the next episode of Gravity Falls. I'll obviously keep my mouth shut, though. Hee hee. I don't know why I keep wanting to say 7, Season 7. I accidentally put 7 Episode 3 the other day when I posted that video and had to correct it. Also, on the fact that I completely left myself out when I posted it too. Yeah, I don't know why I keep doing that. So you mean like Season 2, Episode 4? Is that the one you're looking forward to? That is true. The Mind Flayer Season 3 was made of dead rats and people. Yep, because its true form, and this is something they've also said in their interviews, its real form is the cloud, is the smoke. That's its true body, its soul, whatever you want to call it. That's it. But it has the ability to make things. It just can't make it out of nothing. It's never been able to do that. And it had a heart, it had bones, it had meat, it had flesh, it had a skeleton. Those didn't come from it. They had to come from somewhere. It just didn't poop out of it. It just didn't poop it out. feel like people find a show that's just all right, not perfect, but fine, and for some time, it just becomes the internet's punching bag. Happened with Has Been, especially season 1, and now Stranger Things. It's also like, some people also get really lost in the theory crafting, and hey, if you've watched any of my videos, I have a theory for everything, and it will oscillate every 5 seconds sometimes, and it annoys the hell out of people. But the thing is, I absolutely never get lost in my theories. I don't get attached to them. There's a couple times where I'm like, oh, I mean, there's like probably a time where like I'm so like dead set on something until something else happens, whether it's right or not. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's not. But when it's wrong, I don't like get hung up on it. Then you have people's headcanons and you have people's end games. This is also the one season where the like literally every homophobic person on the planet, as well as every like person that was hoping for Mike and Will to end up together, all joined in unison to review bomb the season. There's valid criticisms of it, but when there's like where literal 50% of the review scores is a 1 out of 10, that is bad faith. That is unequivocally bad faith. And when you read them, it's a mix of both, all masking it behind writing, behind acting, behind blah, blah, blah. It is what it is. You cannot convince me otherwise, and anybody thinking it's anything other than that is delusional. Sorry, yar. Almost as delusional as all of the Bilers. Stranger Things spoiler, I'm surprised some people didn't get the Nancy Jonathan breakup. It seems so clear to me. Right? I saw some people was like, oh wait, I thought they got engaged by the end of that. I was like, what part of that conversation made you think that they got engaged? It was like a roller coaster of a conversation, but by the end of it, it was very, very clear. As a fan who's also seen the first Shadow play, I thought it would get included in the story because Henry's backstory truly is tragic, but they didn't include it, and I was mad. See, that's another thing, supplemental information. Also, because of how exclusive and cut off, I'm glad they did it the way they did it. I can't go see the play. Most people can't go see the play. There's little nuggets, so if you have seen it, you're like, oh, look at that. I know what that is. And I read it. I read the play. And I had some of those moments as well after the fact. But like, for the general audience, in putting anything like that in there, I don't know that we have the time for it. And then it would make watching the play a little moot. I kind of like how they did it, but it's just additional information. Like there's like Star Wars books that play in the same vein, like like Dooku with Jedi Lost and all that kind of stuff. Like it's information that's nice, and when you have it, it's fun. It adds. I don't think again. So it's one of those things in this story. It doesn't help this story much. Personally, I don't think so. It's just fun stuff to have in the back of your mind to know. But I understand that one. I get that one. Like the desire to have that have more of an impact than what it did. I will say, real weird that Hopper and Joyce never mentioned having known Henry, or the fact that they went to school with him. And the fact that that conversation also happened off screen. I think that's a little weird. Not game ending at all. A little weird. Thank you for answering the question and comment of Stranger Things season 5, episode 8, because I thought that Vecna is gone and we will have power for the rest of his life. Oh, no. But realize the Vecna dies and Will won't have any power anymore because no connection to the mind between the two of them. So thank you for the answer. My question helped me clarify. No, of course. Yeah, they explained that in the season itself. You know, Will doesn't have powers. He's only able to use Vecnas. So once you remove the source of that, it's going to be gone. He doesn't have the blood in him like 11 or 8 does. So it's the other thing. If you, according to the play at least, the Mind Flayer's particles are in their blood, or at least was in Henry's blood, and that's part of what gave them this ability. So I don't know if that's another one of those things where I'm kind of with Kali on the fact that if we're going to do this, we need to remove all of it. But there might be some different amalgam of that process that doesn't allow the Mind Flayer to still exist in that form when they were born with it, maybe. I don't know. Again, information I'd like to know, but not relevant. Are you excited that we are going to get Sharknado Origins? I've never seen a single Sharknado movie. Not at all. I've seen scenes, but I've never been interested in watching that. Will I be watching Malcolm in the Middle reboot in general, not just for the channel? I don't know. I liked Malcolm in the Middle when I was growing up, but I wasn't like a huge Malcolm in the Middle guy. Like if it was on, I would check it out, but I never really watched it, or I never really went out of my way to watch it. I liked it fun enough. Definitely not one of my favorite sitcoms of all time, but so I don't know. I don't think I probably won't check out the reboot. Love the coming out scene for Will. It was very powerful, but some are saying the end of Stranger Things making Game of Thrones look good, which is silly to say. Again, it's just hubris. That's just hyperbole in every sense of the word. Stranger Things, regardless of how you think they got there, they stayed true to their story and their trajectory, and they never strayed away from it. Game of Thrones actually created plot holes because they admitted to making decisions in the final season because Reddit guessed what they were going to do. And they changed things they had set up purely just because they were like, oh, I want this character to have this moment. They were just doing things just because maybe it looked cool. Maybe they wanted to appease certain fans over others. They made decisions, and admittedly made decisions that contradict things they literally have been setting up for seasons. They rushed the hell out of that shit. Things happened on a dime. Things didn't make sense. Some things, like I get how he would have got there. The road to getting there was a little weird. Sometimes non-existent. It is in no stretch of the imagination a Game of Thrones season 8. Yes, of course. Like I said last night, it'd be cool to get some more information on the stone. I don't think it's 100% needed for the story, though. It's fucking magic stone. We don't need to know. Giant space beast from another dimension. Who gives a fuck? I mean, I'd like to know, but it shouldn't be like, I don't know what this stone is. It's ruined. Did I see Malcolm in the Middle back in the day? I think I just answered that earlier. I have indeed. Sharknado, weird idea. Oh yeah, that's sci-fi for you. I understand that the ending cannot satisfy everybody, but I at least wanted it to be coherent. I think it is. Not everything needs to be explained, but the big things needs an explanation. I don't know that there was, I personally don't see anything big that was not explained. Or could be easily explained. The way I see it, sometimes fun part of not knowing is that it allows fanfics and theories to weave themselves into the background. Those are treats for weirdos to feed their creativity. That's very, very true. Exactly. There's a lot of open to interpretation aspects there, which is something that Tolkien purposefully did in Lord of the Rings. Despite his overbearing need to explain a lot of things, he purposely left a lot of things out for future generations to do what they will with. Hate the fact that I can't join your Discord server unless I become a Patreon member, and I can't do that because I'm on a budget. Wish I joined it months ago before it was no longer available. Yeah, I do apologize for that. It's just been, we've just had so many problems with it, man. So I am a little stingy about who comes in and who doesn't at this point. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Also, Happy New Year, by the way. Right back at you. Right back at you. I hope everybody had a good New Year all the same. despite all the craziness in the world and all the doom and gloom. How do you feel about Stranger Things first full circle, the beginning episode of the first season, the first episode? I loved it. We had a lot of full circle moments in these final episodes that I found absolutely beautiful. The Stranger Things finale wasn't like the Walking Dead finale where they just left it open for 4 different... Yeah, dude, the Walking Dead finale wasn't even a fucking finale, dude. That was literally everything after season 8 for that, for me, might as well have not happened, except for the ones who live. But then again, if you had just ended at season 8, where you probably should have, you wouldn't have even been in the position to make that show. The ones who live, I liked that fine enough. I liked that quite a bit. But the main show itself, it was rough, man. It was real rough. Will killed some of the demos, so that could be absent reason as well. That's also true. I think it probably left. I kind of wonder if it can like break them off and send them off, or if it just held a contingent behind outside of the body to go off and do these missions for it. Moment appreciation. This channel just radiates good vibes, and it's always great to just sit down and watch one of your videos after a hard day. Love the community too. Keep up the vibes, gang. Thank you so much, Stairface. I appreciate that. I do lose my patience with some people. I most certainly do. But I think for the most part, I do a pretty good job at keeping things real chill and relaxing. And I hope that comes across. And any of the times I might get a little exaggerated or maybe ream somebody a little bit, it's all out of love. My love language is picking on people. so if I roast anybody, it's usually out of love, unless you're being an asshole. They straight up jumped Vecna. They did. They straight up jumped him. And plus, the thing about it is by this point, okay, I want to touch on this real quick. The swiftness of the finale, or the final fight. This crew is the only time in the entire series they were all together and working towards the same thing. It wasn't just a handful of people fighting them. This was the entire team, barring Murray and Hopper, were there to fight it. It feels what Vecna feels. Vecna feels what it feels. So while they're fighting, while they're struggling, both creatures are feeling each other's pain while feeling their own pain. This is one of those things where you go into again, it's D&D. It is D&D. This whole show has been D&D from the get-go. You know the mechanics. You know the game. They know the boss. They know its weaknesses. It doesn't matter how big it is. Those weaknesses only get more apparent by it increasing its size. They knew the mechanics of the game. They knew their knowledge of the game, and they utilized it to whoop their fucking asses. And I thought that was earned and deserved, and I thought I personally had no issue with the length of time that went. It was a boss battle. Most D&D boss fights don't last more than 10 minutes in real time. Most encounters most certainly don't make it past 5. But anyway, that aside, Vecna is mentally nerfed, mentally frayed. The Mind Flayer, physically here. Like all these things that they think in the hubris of their narcissism that they need to spread, that they need to consume, that they need to change the world, that their way is the right way, is literally what kicks them out. Because we are one. Well, motherfucker, we are not. We are a bunch of people, and we don't agree with you, and we are taking you out. Like, you might be a 1, but that means you're alone. Go fuck yourself. And I love the way that whole thing played out. And let's not pretend that the fight in season 3 was any less crazy. Stranger Things finale is very emotional for me, and I caught the whole episode even with 11. Blah, blah, blah. Well, maybe. We still don't know if she did, if she didn't. Even if I do kind of lean on the more, she probably did. I felt the final shot where Mike closes the door on his childhood is emotional, but adults still play D&D. That's true, but it's not, I don't think that means, I like to think that he wrote the campaign frame at the end of the story that we saw in the end credits. I want to, in my head, he wrote that. That's my head canon for that. But, you know, I don't think that's necessarily what that means. That just means he's finally moving on. He's accepted this is where they are in life, where they need to go in life, and he's shutting the door on that. They probably play D&D later in their adult lives if they ever have the opportunity. It becomes harder and harder when you're an adult, but it doesn't mean, I don't know that that means I'm an adult now, I'm never gonna play D&D ever again. I don't know that that's necessarily what that means. That I think just thematically that is just childhood is at an end. The next stage is coming on. Let's see. I'm a defender of the Game of Thrones season 8, and people say Stranger Things it was worse is crazy. See, look at that. And I don't listen. Game of Thrones season 8 was disappointing. I don't disagree how that story ended. I don't disagree with how the story ended. I disagree with how we got there. There's some moments I vehemently disagree with, like the Night King resolution. That was absolutely bullshit. But yeah. See, a defender of Game of Thrones season 8, the rare lot that exists, is on their side. I'll take that. I also mentioned the last night. Love the little Stephen King route that they took with Mike being a writer. It worked out so well. You know what? I'm just gonna do this. Beep. Let's see. I mean, had way more fun and emotional in Stranger Things than Umbrella Academy finale. Dude, the Umbrella Academy last season was rough. Like, that whole season was rough. No, I'm not saying, like, no spoilers. I'm warning people there will be spoilers. Otherwise, I'd put no spoilers. Let's see. I feel like the only part of Stranger Things final season that I wasn't a fan of was how the military was utilized. They just vanished after Elle left, which I get, but I would have liked to have seen it, that conversation. Like I said in my video too, I was like, that was one of the things that I also felt like I would have liked a little more there. That's one of those things I also felt like was a little, that was one of the problems I had. I felt like that was such a big deal this season. They just like disappeared. And they've killed so many of them, you know? So, like, not a conversation. In my head canon, Owens probably went to their superiors and got these fuckers reprimanded, and they couldn't actually do anything about it in the end. That's my hope. What's up, Vince? Popping in real quick. Miss everyone. I'm running errands, can't join properly. I love this community. And you, Omni, Happy New Year. See y'all next week for sure. Right back at you, Vince. Right back at you, man. Now that's all said and done for our main group of Stranger Things. In your opinion, who had the best ending? Maybe Dustin and Steve? Or Hopper and Joyce? What's up, Tiki Bruno? Happy New Year right back at you. How you feeling about the killer right in the middle of the episode? I mean, makes sense. Makes sense to me. I mean, I don't feel one way or the other about it. It wouldn't have made sense to do it later. Still loving Fallout Season 2, and oh my god, for sure thought Xander was going to kill Thaddeus. Definitely didn't see Maximus smashing his head incoming. I'm glad to say that he did. The second he was going to kill all of them, I was like, there's no way in hell Maximus is going to just stand by and let this happen. The moment he was going to do what he was going to do, I was like, all right, Maximus either is going to sway him, win those, well, it's Maximus, so I doubt it. He's going to win those charisma checks, or he's going to bash his head in. And, well, he did. Last night, did I miss a stream? No, it was just us in the Discord chatting about it. I think Welcome to Derry is better than both films. That's what I've heard. I've heard a lot that Welcome to Derry is a lot better than the first two It films. See, I really like the first one. Second one, just like with the miniseries, the second half when they're adults is just not as good. Does see Finn Wolfhard loves The Last Jedi? I did see that. I always knew Finn was the GOAT. Also, Happy New Year's, lovelies. Right back at you. What's up, Dark Superman? Happy New Year for you. Didn't like the overuse of fake out deaths with Stephen Hopper and Dustin. When did Dustin have a fake out death? I don't remember the Dustin one. But yes, I get the Hopper one a little bit more. The Steve one was like, that was just to fuck with us and to give Jonathan a moment with Steve, I think. But for the most part, yeah, it was a little egregious, I think, for sure. The side plot with Finn and Rose could have been better. Oh, or just, you know, non-existent. Leaving Dr. K alive, unforgivable. Yeah, she needed to go. The world is worse off with her walking around. I think she might have been worse than Vecna in the grand scheme of things. Happy New Year, everyone. Right back at you. Also, did Dustin forget that his cat was killed by a Demogorgon? No, but I don't know why that would be relevant to right now. The bullies that attacked Dustin just disappeared after episode 1. I mean, we were nowhere anywhere that they would have been at that point. And there's no reason to touch base on them anymore. Dustin, after everything, he's not going to be agitating them endlessly like he was, purposefully picking fights. I don't know. They served their purpose, they're done. I don't know why we would need them to come back. There's no room in the story for them, or a reason to bring them back after that point. After that revelation, no reason really to bring them back in my book. Dimmadog also let Dustin live. Yeah, Dart did indeed let him live, which is very interesting. I wish we would have explored that a little bit more at some point. We got a super chat from Tia. I guess clarifying on the Dustin thing. Dustin's was the fake out with the Mind Flayer's leg. I mean, that wasn't even a fake out. Like, he was just... Lucas saved him. That was just teamwork. I don't consider that a fake out. We didn't get like a black screen or a character goes off screen and then we don't know what's going to happen. I don't consider that a fake out. But I appreciate the super chat all the same. Yeah, because I can't really think of anything. That's just like being in the middle of a fight with a giant kaiju. I don't think had it landed and it faded to black and we didn't see anybody save him, that would be a fake out. Especially if they stopped to be like, oh no, Dustin, what happened? And then he's like, I'm fine. That's a fake out. Let's see. Big Bang Bullies won that fight and Dustin went into the Upside Down. The bullies wouldn't follow him there. If only they did and go the route of their patriarch from before. We didn't hear any fireworks since it was raining in my area, and there were people who retired or who tried and just ended up with smoke. New Star Trek series, but that one doesn't affect you. Very true. Most important movie this year is Mandalorian and Grogu. I miss Grogu. I'm so curious how that movie is going to navigate all this crazy stuff. Bullies were just there to be established. We're just there to establish Justin's current situation. It's not like they had a storyline or anything. Agree. There's a new Star Trek series, but that one, did you think this one just got retyped? Anyway, started Stranger Things at 11. I'm now 19. I'll be 20 this month. The show literally has been with me my whole teenage life, and I'm only 2 years younger than Noah and Millie. I cried for like 2 days. Hey, that's real, man. When you grow up with a show and then it's gone, that absence gets felt so hard. It's like it's almost like mourning a loved one in a way. As weird as that is to say, we're saying goodbye to these characters we've gotten to know, we grew up with. You know, and the thing about this too is like I only got into the show in the last 3 years. And the thing about it is it's also just in that vein too, you can also just find yourself in it as well, because there's so many relatable moments throughout the show and all this fantastical stuff. All that aside, the fantasy, the sci-fi of it all, everything else is just so real, so grounded, and so goddamn human. And I love it to death. Countdown to today is a brand new day. Hey, my bad. I thought you said season 1 Bullies Sheldor, not season 5 Bullies. Whoops. We also have X-Men 97 season 2, Spider-Man Noir, House of the Dragon season 3, Beef season 2, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man season 2, Vision Quest, as well as Punisher special. Hey y'all, I haven't joined a stream in a while. Personally, I love the ending of Stranger Things. While I wish they maybe had killed 1 or 2 more characters, I'm very glad we got these character moments. Hits the feels. I think, again, like, that's another thing. I told you that no one, well, I mean, depending on how you feel about one thing, no one was going to die. And like I said, if somebody had to, the one person did. The only one that I think in the grand scheme of things made sense. Yeah, I never felt like this was going to kill any of the main characters at all. I think it would be antithetical to what this show is if they did. And it's very 80s. It's very 80s. Yeah, I assumed it was the lack of spooky dust. Excited for X-Men 97 and Spider-Man Noir. The only part of Stranger Things this season that I didn't really like was feel like some of the characters were kind of sidelined. Feel like Dr. K should have had more to do. I can get that. I mean, there's a lot of characters to juggle, and I do think some had more to do than others, certainly. I can understand and get behind that sentiment. Dr. K is one of those situations where you either give her more to do, where she's more present, or just less. Just have it be this little side thing. We focused on it a lot for us to not have a proper resolution to it. Again, one of my actual issues with the finale. Thanks for the recommendation and shouting out other small creators. Well, thank you, Mike. No, they popped up on my feed and I was like, dude, this video was fucking good. So I wanted to shout them out, especially because I commented on the videos, and then they had mentioned in a reply that they're a subscriber here, and it was us and what we do that kind of inspired them to even start. So I don't know, I just thought that was, on top of it just being a good video and a great personality and all of these different things amalgamating together, on top of that, it was just like, oh shit, that came out of here. I inspired somebody. That was a nice little like icing on the cake moment. What creator was I shouting out? Was this before I arrived? No, it was on my community post. So it was a hell of a boss reactor. I mean, it's the only thing they've reacted to up until this point. It was hell of a boss, and I was like, hell yeah. Ren Lachlan was them. Because I'm desperate. I'm always looking for someone new who's watching that, and somebody who actually has the emotional intelligence to talk about the show. And they're few and far between. Sorry about your loss. I appreciate that, man. I really do. I think they pulled a Game of Thrones and a Lord of the Rings where Mike wrote a campaign called Stranger Things based on the events he lived through. I also think that yeah, that's kind of what I think as well. I think Will felt what they felt until the point of him taking control. They became more like Vecna in control rather than enslaved by the Demogorgons. Yes, that maybe, possibly. You know, when he takes control, I think that does something different to the pain aspect of it. Because when he's doing these things, it doesn't affect him. I mean, it's not like anytime it happens with, I don't know, whatever. Sorry for your loss of Mimi. I hate losing family pets who are more than just pets. Yeah, she was our, like, I love all of them, but like, I loved her to death. I won't get into it because otherwise I'm going to start crying because she was so goddamn sweet. All right, I'm about to cry. Anyway, this is definitely Marvel's year. Every other month we'll have something coming out. Also seeing this finale of the show introduced me to your channel. It was very bittersweet. Oh, the moments that bring us together, man. I love that too. Like, it is this bonding thing over this shared loving of a thing. Do you think Eleven walking up the waterfalls at the end can be a representation of heaven? I mean, it could be. There's a lot of things it could be. That's kind of the point. She represented magic in this story. And yeah, so like it's really up to whatever you want it to be, really. Which is kind of, I like it. I like that a lot. I like that. Put it on a shirt. Avengers X-Men teaser is now playing in theaters. Cool. The thing I said about Kali before is mostly why I don't believe the thing with Elle, but obviously people are allowed to believe it, just not for me. Exactly. I feel like that's Thor got the Infinity War look again. Yes, indeedy doody. Stranger Things, do you think Robin and Vicky are still together after the time jump? Well, she's the one that mentioned overbearing spouses. So does that mean but she also asked Nancy if they got any babes over at Emerson, or how are the babes over at Emerson, which could just be a playful little thing you do. But Vicky, if they were married in some way, shape, or form in '89, would definitely be overbearing. So I don't know. It's just another thing. It's up to you to decide. I'd probably say sure, but realistically also maybe not. I have a question. Who would win, Alistair or Vecna? Alistair would destroy him. Absolutely. How is your 2025? Some of my best moments on the channel, in life, things I got to do, like San Diego Comic-Con, interviewing cast members, talking with Matt Mercer, going to see Critical Role live, meeting all of Critical Role, all the people I've met over the course of the year. Fantastic stuff. Tail end, a little rough, man. The loss of Mimi weighs hard still right now. Then my dad died, and then, well, not in that order, but still, yeah, it was rough at the end. But overall, I think the year was good overall, just with some ick in there. Thor teaser trailer is cool. I'm glad Serious Thor is back. Goofy Thor, I wasn't a fan of at all. I like him to be a little, like, have a little levity. But he was just, it was too far goofy dum-dum the other way in Thor Love and Thunder. Heard someone mention people didn't like season 3 of Stranger Things. Had you heard of anything about that? People, every new season, people were like, this is the worst season of the show. People hated season 4 when it came out. People hated season 3 when it came out. People didn't like season 2 when it came out. There's people that also didn't watch it after season 1, but they still talk about the show every season. So I don't know. Who knows, man? Who knows? Am I planning to watch Epic the Musical or Metal Family? I have no idea what Metal Family is. Epic the Musical, maybe at some point. I really don't know. It's been floated around a couple times. I'm not really sure. Oh, you're right. She did say significant others. I thought she said spouses for some reason. You're right. Thank you, Chanel, for correcting me. So yeah, then yeah, it could easily be her or anybody else in that context. Change my mind on the rankings every 5 minutes, to be honest. Same, actually. Me and Corbin made a bet about Steve living and dying. I won the bet, so you owe me $5. Yay, I win, and ye lost. Epic from 2013. No. I'm not saying it's abomination. I loved it. Just have some questions, which I guess we're kind of dumb. No. No, I would say you're kind of dumb. It's very fair to have questions. I just like, that's part of the fun. Fun. Yeah, the 7-3 on the video and the lack of face cam killed me the other day. But yes, 2-4 is what I'm looking forward to. Thank you for the clarity. Because when I did that, when it was just the image, that's because like before I export it, I expand it, export just the footage from that segment so I can go through and find thumbnail moments. Like from the show to do the editing for the thumbnail, and I just forgot to resize it. So technically the face cam was there, it was just covered up completely by Gravity Falls. My ranking for Stranger Things would be 1, 4, 3, then 5. You're missing 2. You're missing a season, Jazzy. Did you skip 2? Have you seen the Safdie Brothers movies, Uncut Gems or Good Times? No, but I really, really wanted to see Uncut Gems, but I have not seen either of those yet. And then season 2. So I guess season 2 is at the very end. Season 2 is the best. Okay, maybe 1, but 2 is still top 2. Potentially controversial, but I think my rankings would be 1, 2, 4, 5, 3. Tentatively, right now, I would say 4, 1, 5, 3, 2. How do you feel about Derek and Holly ended up together at the end? Question. Well, I mean, they're not like together at the end. There's nothing that implies that. They're friends. I do like that because like with our friend group, this trauma brought down those barriers of cliques. You know, nerds, jocks, geeks, bullies, all of it. Just like with us, you know, Steve, Rob, and all these different people who normally under normal circumstances would have never been friends, are. And I think I liked seeing that with their group as well. I thought that was really, really sweet. How dare you disrespect season 3. With theories, I love getting into them, but yeah, I've never been unhealthily set on them. At the end of the day, it's not me writing the shows and the movies, so who am I to say that the end games are wrong? Exactly, unless it's Game of Thrones. Anyway, seriously, just the Night King stuff. Started Gravity Falls reactions, loving them so far. Thank you, Poellers. We got so much. When 11 was saying goodbye to Mike, rock my heart because you're my favorite couple. I was sad. 11 died because she was my favorite character. Yeah, it was an emotional moment. How did everybody feel about Purple Rain? Amazing song. Beautiful song. And like I said in my reaction, lyrically, it makes sense for the moment. To me, audibly, it took me out of the scene emotionally a little bit. I just didn't feel like it sounded like it fit. Even though thematically, the meaning of the song and all of it, I didn't feel like acoustically it made sense. I felt better about it the second time I watched it, but I still don't feel like it was the best choice. Oh, here we are. Oh yeah, when I first watched it, before Jonathan even pulled out the ring, the first thing I was saying, is this breaking up? I don't know, it was very obvious to me. When he pulled out the ring, I was like, after them airing things out, I was like, okay, do they feel better now that they're being honest? Is now he gonna do it? As the scene was going, my understanding of where it was gonna go kept changing. The question about where it was gonna go kept changing, because I didn't have like any confidence about how this scene was gonna end. But by the end of the scene, I thought it was very clear when he was like, do you accept my unproposal? Yes. And then she straight up says, yes, I will not marry you. So like, how did that get missed? People seriously thinking Will and Mike would end up together is crazy. There's not even a whisper of suggestion of Mike being bi. There's no clues, zero evidence at all in the show. And Robin knows it. Robin says it without saying it through her story. She's trying to soften the blow and help him through it. There is not one lick of evidence in the entire show that suggests Mike that likes him in that way at all. Appreciate your recommendations. I guess this looks like a repeat. The Bridge has a 5.5 on IMDb. Most other episodes have an 8+. Obviously, review bomb. I mean, just look at the spread. Look at the spread and look at the comments. On my reaction to that moment, I've been getting disgusting comments about the scene. Like, every hour, I'm blocking like 5 new people. Like, I'm getting berated for my reaction to it. Just sometimes not even that. And also, like, whether it's about the scene or just me, I got personal attacks on both TikTok and on Instagram for my reaction to the scene. Like, you can't tell me. They're like, oh, they're pushing an agenda. I was like, no, like, the literal agenda pushing is happening from y'all. That is evidence of an agenda. Someone existing and being shown and depicting because those people exist is not an agenda. A person's existence or right to exist is not an agenda. I grew up in rural West Virginia. Guess what? We had gay kids. Like, what do you, like people are like, oh, it's rural Indiana in the 80s. Gays don't exist. This isn't accurate. Go fuck yourself, you delusional fuck. You're the reason they're afraid to come out. You're the reason that this is actually, and they're like, it's not important to the plot. Why did this happen? They literally, spell it out. In no short terms. They did not skip a beat. They didn't leave any words off why this has to happen now. And why it's been an issue and a weakness for the team the entirety of the show. Hell, it was first mentioned in season 1. It's always been in the plot. The reason is, had this not happened and they not been forced to face their fears to go into this final fight without any of these weights on their shoulders, without giving Vecna any leverage to use against them in any way, shape, or form, they will lose. Had he not been put in the situation, he may have buried this for a long time, never even confronted it for a long time. And guess what? You probably grew up with somebody who felt like that their entire life and never felt comfortable telling you. It's just like, well, we're getting more diagnoses of all these different mental health problems nowadays. Why didn't we have that problem back in the day? Because we didn't know how to diagnose it. People weren't comfortable talking about it. People didn't. The more people get tested, the more numbers are going to go up. People weren't getting tested for shit. People don't know math. People don't know statistics. They don't know reality. People have this perception of the world, and it is fucking ridiculous. Like, that is arguably the most important scene in the entire fucking show. And you've obviously never sat in on one. It's like, it's not realistic. It's way too flowery, too mouthy. It's too preachy. It should have been 20 minutes. Dude, it was 3 minutes, if that. And what? There's literally a recent coming out scene in the sports world that's been floating around in media to counteract that. Almost exactly plays out exactly the same. And guess what? I had a friend get us all together and tell us in college exactly how that happened. What do you mean? Like, it's just, I wanna just bash my head into a wall. And people are like, oh, look at that. See, it's clearly a bad episode. Look at the score. I'm like, use your fucking brain. Sorry, tangent aside. That shit pisses me off. Let's see. I didn't know 11 could bring you into the black mine thing without going into the water unless 8 helped her with her powers. I don't know. I mean, it's all proximity. She can do it. She only needs the water if she needs to truly, really search or go outside of her range or her distance. Also, sorry, last thing I'll say about it is these people have the audacity to have a cross or a Bible verse in there, and obviously they don't understand their own stance on the world at all. They need to remove that shit from their bio, from their profile pic, because guess what? You keep acting like that, your ass is not going anywhere other than wherever the fuck you deserve to be. Sorry. I don't tolerate that shit, man. Let's see. Hope they publish Stranger Things playbook. Play as a book like they did with the Harry Potter play. That would be cool. I would like for them to do that so it's accessible to everybody. Did you know that Bobby Brown got to write her own name in Stranger Things finale 11's ending? I'm not sure exactly what you mean there. 1,000,000%? Yeah. Oh, we got a super chat from Tiki. Oh my God. I'm behind. Okay, guys, I'm not going to be able to go 4 hours today. So I apologize for the rants. I am like an hour-ish behind, I think. To piggyback on your comments about the ignorance statements, Vecna literally did what Will feared with Hopper as his fear of losing 11. Exactly. Exactly. That's been his game since he showed up. Chrissy's fear, her insecurity, her weight, her mother, her appearance. He preys on that. That's been his MO since he was introduced. And when you are a gay kid in rural small town Indiana, you know what would be pretty fucking terrifying is if you came out, if people found out about this thing, your dad has been like berating you about it your entire life until they left. It's this thing society most of the time isn't prepped for. You know, it's a pretty big fear is if you came out and everybody you loved just turned on you. Because it happens sometimes. Oh my god, I'm gonna fucking lose my shit. My god, here we are. Question, how are you having Hopper and Joyce are engaged by the end of the show? Question. I love it. That was great. Hell yeah, good ending right there. Love that shit. We finally got to see their dinner at Enzo's. Lucas and Max finally got to go to the movies. Good shit all around. I heard there was going to be a Nancy Robin book adventure. I've heard this rumor floating around. There's going to be some kind of Nancy Robin spinoff. I have no idea where that's coming from. I've heard nothing about it though. I've only ever heard it from you all, to be honest. Favorite season of Stranger Things is probably season 4, and then 5 in the middle, season 5, not the ending. By the way, Happy New Year. Hope you had a great 2026, or hope you have a great 2026. Right back at you as well. Personally, I didn't think that Mike and Will were going to end up together, but I don't think it's right to call Byler's delusional. They have hours of real proofs. No, they don't. No, they don't. It was just a theory like any others. A lot of theories at least have evidence. There's nothing. Anything they saw was evidence of something else that they fabricated. There is no, if you have any level of emotional intelligence and logical thinking, I'm not saying they're all delusional, but most of them, if you it's fun to ship, it's fun to do this, it's fun to theorize, but if you are like, they ruined the show because my endgame, my ship is not canon, you've crossed the line into whatever. There's zero evidence in it, and any drop of evidence that I've seen videos, I've seen real proofs, and it's just people misreading so many situations. Like, the show could not spell it out any more clearly, and they keep doing it every season. Spell it out, spelling it out, spelling it out, spelling it out. There was one ending for those two, and we got it. Yeah, we're getting the lanterns this year. That's another one, but that's the last I'll say on it. I don't like being a negative Nancy, and I don't like harping down on people, but like, so I was like, shipping characters is fun. Peers into the illicity abyss. Oh god. It's when people take it too seriously that it becomes a reality warping mechanism. People get into their ships and it starts to warp their sense of reality. And people get lost in their headcanons, in their desires, and their wants, and their feelings. And they create a story that's just simply not there. And then they can't discern the truth anymore. And that happens in real life too, so I guess I'm not shocked, but it is anything other than delusional. Sorry about your cat. It sucks. I know how you feel. Lost my cat. It was very sad. Yes. Mike, you don't need to spam this. This is like the third time I've seen this comment. Don't know why it bothers everyone so much. I've been to so many fandoms and ships who are just a natural part of it. As long as people are respectful, I don't think we should judge. That's fine. I agree. But they review bombed the fuck out of the episode. That's what I was saying. Like, there are, if you go through the ratings, there are a lot of, well, there's a lot of masked comments behind other things they're trying to pass off as valid criticism, and it's some, none of it is. If you're giving it a 1, it's not a valid criticism. You're not thinking about it in a critical way. But there are homophobes and there are bilers in there rating that show a 1. And that's the thing. They're like, no, you took this away from us. You gave us the wrong ending. These characters are no longer these characters anymore. That's why I'm so like annoyed by it. Also, I've had a bunch of them go off on me because of my opinions on it. telling me I'm delusional, I'm wrong, I'm misreading everything. I've been harassed by Bylers. So anyway, I'm done with it. I'm not talking about it anymore. Did you know the 3 TV shows that ended in 2025? Sandman. Stranger Things technically did not. I'm sure I could probably think of some others, but yeah. Anyway, just a quickie. Did you watch The War Between the Land and the Sea as a Doctor Who spinoff? No, I really don't. I don't really have any interest in checking it out at the moment. I'm excited to see, super chat from Scott. I'm excited to see U.S. Agent in Doomsday. I forget, was he confirmed? Either way, if he shows up, sure, hell yeah, let's go. I like what they've been doing with him. And we got Pelwers here. Had a friend say they didn't like the coming out scene in part because there wasn't a character who was homophobic, and that's not realistic. What? Like, that wouldn't ruin the ending? Yeah, that would be ridiculous. In your core group, if you have any friend that is not into who you are, they're not your friend. They're not worth having as your friend. I think this group has shown time and 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 again that they're all very emotionally healthy. A lot of people are, a lot of people aren't. They had a good set of friends. Guess what? In the 90s, I had a friend come out, and guess what? We all accepted it. It's not unheard of to have a friend group that is cultivated around actual friendship. And this isn't towards you, Pellers. This is like that comment from your friend or whatever. Then do you think Ghostwalker is a valid ship? I mean, anything's a valid ship. Do I buy into it? That's a different conversation to be had. I don't know. I didn't really get that kind of vibe from him, but sure, why not? I mean, he's still married, right? Or did they get a divorce? I can't remember. Where are we at? I don't know where I left off. God damn it, man. This is the problem. God, I'm so far behind. I'm gonna find where I left off, and I'm gonna like highlight a couple things here and there. I might start skipping a couple of comments if it's not something I feel like I have anything to touch on. Yeah, okay, here we are. Finally figured out where I was from before. They stuck the landing in Stranger Things, in my opinion, so great. I agree. Again, not the season as a whole, not perfect, but I love it. Very different things. Happy New Year. New Year's great. Hope everyone else is good. The Walking Dead finale was such bullshit. Season 8 was where it should have ended, genuinely. Even they messed up elements of that, but that at least was an actual bookend. Like, if you look at the entire show, season 1 to season 8 is a complete bookended chapter. They thematically, the story ends there with a hope for a better future. Everything's fine. Everything after that was AMC just trying not to let their cash cow go, and they are desperate not to let their cash cow go, even now. What's up, Lucius? Love you, Omni. Love everything that you do and love all your reactions. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Right back at you. Let's see. Michael loves to bully us. I kid. I mean, it's fun sometimes. Yeah, dude, if it ended and this was entire and it was just the whole show was a D&D game, I would have rioted, and I'm sure a lot of people would have. Yeah, it was a dream or it was all a game would not have been cool. I'm not sure who you're mentioning here. How do you get all those kids to not say anything about what happened to them? Like straight up money? I'm curious, which aspect of this are you referring to? I'm about to lose my spot again. They dealt with monsters. Gays aren't an issue. We got a bunch of issues here, and gays aren't one of them. That's for damn sure. They rarely are. What's your Ahsoka ultimate canon fate theory? I'd love for her to just start her own school. I don't know, join Luke, help teach, but obviously that fate gets ill-fought, just destroyed after a point. I don't really know. What I think like an ultimate end goal for Ahsoka would be, other than I think teaching. I mean, well, that's what she's doing in season 1 of Ahsoka, and season 2 is teaching, passing on her idea of the Force and of being what it means to be a Jedi. She's doing what Luke was supposed to be doing. So I don't know. That's a hard one to ask, especially because anything I would want would basically be overwriting anything that's already been established with other stuff. Let's see. The best it was all fake theory is Breaking Bad being Walter White's students' fanfic about what this very boring man does when he's not at school. Okay, that would kind of be funny. But no, if that really happened, yeah, I would be quite perturbed. What's up, Pickstream? How are you? Currently hanging out with some family? Hell yeah. D&D, schedules and conflicts. That's the truth. That is most certainly the truth of it all. We've been on hiatus for over a year. Not because of scheduling, mostly just because of the place where we play has needed renovations, and I don't know if we just haven't tried to get back together yet. Which song saves you from Vecna and helps you to running up that hill? I don't know, man. I've been asked this before, but my answer, I feel like it always changes. Right now, I would probably say Hear My Hope would probably work, or maybe the orchestral version of Passion from Kingdom Hearts 2 would probably also do it. Yeah, I love the part where Joyce is killing Vecna to see everyone's flashbacks on how Vecna ruined their days. I love that axe was super dull, or one, maybe his neck was just super thick. That was some dense tendrils his neck was made of. Because I think somebody counted, and it took 11 swings to get his head off. Still so happy Joyce was the one that got the final blow. This was the whole thing started because her boy, she deserved to deliver the final hits more than anyone. Agreed. Some thought that the Hollywood lead the Next Generation spinoff. I doubt. I mean, I could understand the thought process of getting to that, but I think with the way it ended, that's certainly not going to be the case right now. Let's see. I feel like this chat is literally to discuss the Stranger Things finale, so everyone who's not caught up, true. The flashbacks play while Joyce is the final blow's beautiful touch had me sobbing. Yes, yes. Same. I mean, that's valid. I mean, yeah. I kind of agree with that in a way. I mean, typically, I don't bar TV show spoilers the following week or the same weekend of something. It's just last week was an aberration just because of how much there was to get through. So yeah. Plus this, I mean, well, they all been a holiday. Anyway, whatever. Stranger Things, there's just no way I couldn't not talk about it. Stranger Things Season 5 was better than Wednesday Season 2. I mean, yeah. Yeah. I think the Night King got killed way too soon. He and the White Walkers were supposed to be the biggest threat. Yeah, I don't like how that all played out at all either. That's my biggest gripe with Season 8, I think. The one thing was Dr. K die. I was waiting on it the entire season, and I guess we just never saw anything happen to her, but it's whatever. I suppose I'm not going to write it. The fact that she gets to live off her days, continue in her station, continue getting her salary, continue to make military decisions, it upsets me. We have multiple Stranger Things Season 5 defenders. We have one Game of Thrones 8 defender. I'm here going to say it. I'm an Umbrella. Stand up. Say your truth, Nick. You're an Umbrella Academy Season 4 defender. They exist. They exist. It had some great moments, but it was rough in my book. I don't hate the ending though. Also, don't people think Hop was dead? I mean, they thought Will was dead too for a while. In this town, I don't think anybody really gives a shit anymore. They've seen weirder stuff. Hold up. They've seen stranger things. Flying or invisibility? Flying. Oh, by the way, are you going to react to Knights of the Seven Kingdom Omni? I'm going to try. I'm going to definitely try. I wonder what year the spinoff will be set. That's going to be a very, very good question. Dustin and Steve, Lucas and Max's endings were the one that got me crying. I was fine all episodes until then. True. Those were two really good moments. Dustin and Steve, I just love so much. Maybe the Max got the movie and it made me happy. I like the Mexican walk again. She can skateboard again. Reminds me of when 11 and Max first met in season 3. Said that none of the other. My opinion, I like Lemax's ending more. They deserve to reunite after all of that time and get that movie date. Fuck yeah. I get that. It's hard to pick because I do like I like where everybody ended up. I think the only one where I was like, man, I would have liked for the whole group to be together. Or, you know, get the picture perfect ending or whatever. But I like the meaning behind why everything played out the way it did. Dustin did what Eddie wanted to do. Eddie said in season 4 he wanted to walk the stage, take the diploma, flip flop at the principal. Yeah, I love that. That was so good. That was so good. I'm glad that Dustin did that. Thought Xander was going to kill Thanius. This was a repeat comment from earlier. He almost got smooshed, but he was very brief. Oh, this was when we were talking about I was like, what fake out death with Dustin? I was very satisfied with the ending to Stranger Things, tied up nicely at the end. Currently watching Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, which dropped today on Netflix. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I did not like that movie at all. I saw it in theaters. I didn't enjoy it. I enjoyed the first one, or not the first one. I've enjoyed Afterlife a lot. I did not care for Frozen Empire much when I saw it the first time. Excited. I'm glad they brought Dustin's mom back. Me too. And the fact that she was just like, yeah, get him, Dustin. I was like, hell yeah. He's a good athlete. The man jumped. Just regular schmegular peril. Wait, there should have been a shot during the killing scene, and not just Eddie, but it should have been Dustin remembering his cat. That would be funny. That would have been hilarious. In terms of One Piece news regarding episodes 17, 18, and 19, the filler that flows casually are just episodes where the Straw Hats help the citizens of Water 7 after the events of the Aqua Laguna. I'm still going to watch it because it is one of those, like, flows. It's also going to give us a break after such a heavy last set of episodes. Those are going to watch for sure. Enjoying Fallout so far, but people online have made a good point about Lucy. Her personality hasn't changed after finding out about her father's bad deeds at the end of season 1. I mean, good. She's been a little rougher around the edges, a little more tired around the with everything, but she's resolute. I feel like if she does change, it changes her role in the show, and I don't want that to happen. Again, the characters in the Fallout show represent different player types, different playthrough types. So changing her personality or changing her approach would break that immersion for me. Oh my god, the bully that got cut in half in season 4 was crazy. Yeah, that was fucking nuts. Yeah, dude. That was one of the worst fake outs in TV history was Glenn climbing under a dumpster in The Walking Dead. Yeah. That was absurd. I can't think of anything that bad. God, I watched it when you were 13, about to turn 23. So, it was 10 years of my life wrap up, and that finale was bittersweet. Let's see, my favorite Joyce line, "You fucked with the wrong family." Do you think the spinoff will be about Joyce and Hopper, Henry, and a story at school? Well, they said it's going to be new characters and a new setting, so I highly doubt it. Because that's already what the play is about on Broadway, that it's about Hopper, Joyce, and Henry's story in high school. Actually, most of Henry's childhood life in general. Most anticipated movie for this year's Hunger Games: Sunrise on the Reaping. Cannot wait. What made you start being a creator, and what advice would you give to someone who wants to start? What made me start was this. I love media. I love talking about stuff. I love sharing my love for things, and the thing that prompted me actually start the channel finally and stop procrastinating was just that, it got harder and harder and harder for me and my friends to keep in touch, just simply because of time, life, work, all these different things. And because of some of those things, we weren't all watching the same thing, so a lot of the time I didn't have anybody to talk about anything, and that pressured me to finally start the channel so I could at least vent about and talk about the things that I wanted to talk about, love the things I wanted to talk about, and rant about the things that maybe irritated me or whatever. Just have an outlet to talk about my feelings on the things that I've been watching. And I think at the end of the day, just do that for you. Don't do it for the content creation. Find a reason for you to want to do it on your own terms. I think there's a lot of people that start it just to I want to be successful. I want to be a content creator. I was like, well, but where's the personal in for it? Because for me, this is just something I do. It's my own personal therapy more than anything. It gets rough, the aspect of it, the actual creation aspect of it, the editing part of it. It's stressful and it's time consuming, but I need this in my life. Otherwise, I would just be screaming at the wall, or I'd be screaming on the internet, on Twitter or Instagram or something else. So just make sure you're doing it for you at the end of the day. And yeah, just be you. Don't try to be anybody else, to copy anybody else. I mean, it's cliche as fuck, but just find your reason for doing it and make that the backbone of why you're here, if that makes sense. Don't worry about your tech. Don't worry about your equipment. Don't worry about all that. You'll figure all that out as you go. I didn't know any of it when I started. Just plugged in a webcam, turned on OBS, and hit record. Figured out the rest from there. There's tutorials out the ass on YouTube. Utilize them. Epos Vox is great as far as like figuring out OBS tricks and stuff. Yeah, I started off with this, the Logitech C290. Go-to webcam for a lot of people starting out. Worked out for a long time. Just go from there, man. Don't worry. Just don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Let's see. Yeah, I'm I'm 45 minutes behind. 47 minutes behind. Stranger Things got me through the death of my dog and the entirety of college and university. My work life beginning. Let's see. Not to mention all the games coming out. RE9, Wolverine, and more. Is Wolverine confirmed? I think I've asked this before, but I forgot. Is Wolverine confirmed for next year? I thought it got delayed or something. Meanwhile, Argyle is back home smoking weed. Yes, he is. Oh my god, the spinoff should be about Argyle. Oh, people would love that. To be honest with Argyle, I don't know why people were confused about him not being in the season. Like, why would he live in Hawkins? So why would he stay there rather than go back home in Lenora? He stole a company van. He technically needed to be back to work the next day. He doesn't live there. Like, yeah, they would need a really weird reason to keep him around. He's like, pizza don't mean nothing to me anymore. I've seen too much shit now. I'm a changed man. Overall, I enjoyed Stranger Things Season 5. Do you feel like certain issues people have wouldn't have been as big if they dropped the whole season at once, or including the finale in Volume 2? I mean, maybe. I do think a lot of it allows that time for people to just not process it as it is intended to be processed. I do think it probably hurt it. I don't think it's going to absolve a lot of issues, because again, the reason why the overall season is rated as low as it is because episodes 7 and 8 were both review bombed all to hell. So it's not even a valid score. So but there are valid criticisms, and I do think some of them are extremely potent, extremely valid. Like I said, I've got my issues with it. I don't think it's a perfect finale. Like if you're looking at it like critically, but as far as like a fun fucking ride, it was a damn good time, and I think it bookends the story beautifully. Got another super chat. Personally, I think we should have cut to Steve with his beamer as well. If we're going to do Dustin's cat, we got to do the beamer also. And then Palpatine returned via cloning in Legends also. Yeah, no, he did. That was the one thing I didn't have a problem with. I had been saying that from the moment we saw Snoke in The Force Awakens. Palpatine's back through cloning, because that's what happened in Legends. Let's see. It's amazing the slightest thing can make such a big impact on somebody. That one. Transition started when I was almost 11 years old. Now I'm 20, and they are done. I'm very glad to have met David Harbour in person from Comic-Con. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I haven't met any of them. How'd you rank the seasons now that's all said and done? I did that earlier. In the stream. Stranger Things ended, and I discovered your channel in 2022 when I was 16 because of Stranger Things. Just want to let you know. Very bittersweet. Dude, it's crazy when like a show is just like that a part of your life, dude. Like I know, like when Dragon Ball Z ended the first time before the any sequel came out. Like, dude, I bawled my eyes out to Dragon Ball Z, dude. It is like morning. How did Max graduate when she was in a coma for the whole season? How did she graduate? It's the 80s. They were much more lenient then. And Max is, all things not all things considered. I mean, like, we were talking about these nerds she hangs out with. They're like super nerds, like freakish nerds. She's still, I wouldn't consider her a nerd, but she's still incredibly intelligent in different ways. And I imagine she's also very studious. And I would imagine there's also makeup work. There's also stuff you could do on the side. We skipped ahead 18 months. You could easily do a lot of the stuff that she missed in a couple of months. If like, even if that, I mean, people catch up over summers, people catch up over breaks when they miss school. It's very, very feasible that she could have finished and got, and graduated alongside them. And especially considering her circumstances. It was medical. So anybody with any kind of sense on their head would work with her, I feel like. I mean, we had that in my class when I was in school. We haven't seen Susie or Dr. Owens in season 5. Dr. Owens is the only character we hadn't seen or caught up with that I was like, I feel his absence right now. Or at least should have been mentioned. Yeah, Alistair would not even break a sweat eradicating Vecta. No. He'd wipe out Vecta and the Mind Flayer solo. Absolutely no interest in the new Marvel movies. I'm excited for X-Men 97 season 2. Like, I can't wait to see how they handle Apocalypse's New Horseman. Same. Sorry you had such a rough end of the year. Hope 2026 will bring you love and happiness. I appreciate that, Tia. Thank you so much. Reactor, I'm subscribed to starting reacting to the show Lucifer, and my obsession is creeping back to me. Highly recommend the show. Ended years ago, and the fandom is dead, but it's peak. Hey man, it was like one vote away from winning over Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. just barely pulled out. You almost got that instead of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. here. Do you see Doomsday getting delayed since Doom Part 3 is coming out on the same day? No. I do not think they will delay. What are your thoughts on the new Odyssey movie coming out from C. Nolan? I mean, I'm curious about it. I have not watched the trailer. I've seen a couple stills here and there. I've seen some of the cast. I mean, I'm about as interested as I've been about any of Christopher Nolan's films. I'm not, like, horny for it like some people are. I'm just not really, I don't know. I'm not really, like, all that concerned. I'll probably check it out. I'm interested. I like Christopher Nolan's stuff. I like his visual aesthetic. I like what I've seen, even though it's not historically accurate or anything like that. But like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not like thirsting for it like a bunch of people are. I don't know why everybody thought Derek and Holly were dating. Like, I thought they were friends. Love Delightful Derek. Same. Y'all are dogging season 2. Hey, I don't think it's bad, but something has to be at the bottom. But being at the bottom doesn't make it bad. Not sure Purple Rain would have been my choice, but I can accept it. Yeah, I'm just poking around here, so I apologize if I'm skipping over some comments. I'm just, we're really far behind, and I can't be here for 4 hours like I was last week. I had a music quiz in school a while ago, and Purple Rain was in it. It was the first time I'd heard about it because it was kind of funny. That is kind of funny how that works, but yeah, I enjoyed it. And yes, we got 2 Prince songs, which is kind of wild. Yeah, man, that post-show depression hits hard, man. Fully paused cooking, by the way. Mega Prince fan. I love that they picked the album, but the song itself didn't work for me for that scene. I'd have loved an instrumental, I Would Die For You. Yeah. Which Stranger Things character deaths hit you? No one's death hit me harder than Eddie's. Not even remotely close. Yeah, homophobes are genuinely the worst people to exist. I'm sorry people were attacking you. That's weird. Yeah. Yeah, sorry. Sorry I have, actual empathy and care for other human beings. My bad. My bad that that's such a blight on your existence. Bob was good, but not anywhere near Eddie. I'd say I'd say Bob was second. Nobody talks about Terry. She has brain damage, but she has some smaller scale skills. If she somehow managed to enter the void to help, or at least distract Vecna, maybe sacrifice for Elle. She doesn't have, the problem is she just doesn't have the ability. Sure, she has like a sub-level thing that's just subconsciously always trapped there, but again, she's trapped in a loop. Her brain's fucked. There's not really anything more than what she showed Eleven that she can actually do, which it sucks, but it's just the truth. Would have been cool, maybe, but like I don't know if there would have been an explanation that makes sense. It's the internet, man. People just think they have anonymity, that their words don't hurt. At the end of the day, opinions like assholes, everybody got one. Yeah. The funny thing about a lot of it, people are whole ass out there with their full names and pictures and stuff doing this too. Like, there's been a fair share of empty profiles, blank profile pics, or just an image and no posts. There's been a lot of that, but there's been a lot of people with their whole ass public chest, name and all, saying shit. Kids people watch the first 3 seasons, their eyes closed and their hands over their ears. It took them 12 hours for Noah doing the coming out scene, and I must say that Noah nailed that part perfectly, and I was crying and proud of him. Same. What's up, sweet angel? Don't know if you're still here at this point, but finally got to your comment. I'm kind of bouncing around, but still. I had a friend say they didn't like the coming out scene because there wasn't... Oh, I guess this is just a repeat from earlier. So I already read that one. Will's coming out scene was great, and Noah Schnapp's acting was superb, but the timing, the big battle was coming up and all. Exactly. If he didn't do it before the battle, they would have lost. They explained it. The timing was the only time it could have happened. If they saved it for after the battle, would not have made sense. If they had done it earlier in the show, would not have made sense. It had to happen there. There's no, it's the timing. I don't, they literally, it is plot relevant to happen before the battle. They have to do that. As important as the planning is, the prep, the training, the security, all of it, they had to do that. Otherwise, they would lose. How do people not get that? I don't understand. Like, they literally spelled it out. And I'm sorry, Chanel, because I'm making you the butt of this right now. But like it's literally like we even see it in this episode, in the finale. Hop's fear used against him. His insecurity used against him. You know, that's Vecna's weapon. And Will had to rob him of that because now he knows what Vecna's using. That's what he discovered. And if they were going to win, and they would have lost. They would have lost. Because it was Will that saved 11. Yeah, no. Only time. Not an opinion. That is a fact. I'm not gonna debate that. That is a fact of the timing is not the problem. Meanwhile, in season 3, We have a whole ass musical number with Susie as they're literally being chased by the Mind Flayer, by the way. Let's see. Wait, Will's gay? Ginger coming in here and just taking the piss out of the situation. Yeah. I don't know, man. There's a fine line between when and how you should watch something with your brain off. And I'm not saying that you should be watching Stranger Things with your brain off, but it quite clearly has been, it chooses vibes and fun over logic from season 1 onward. It rides that line, so I get where it can get a little bit blurred here and there for some people. I get it. For me, it's vibes are more important than execution, I guess, in some ways. As long as it makes sense with the story, and I don't think anything, again, like I mentioned before, I don't think anything has gone against the story that's been established up until this point, but the hows we get to certain places gets a little rough at times. But again, that's fine. I don't need it to be perfect to enjoy it. It's a roller coaster ride of emotions. How something makes me feel is so much more important. Yeah, why not just let people be happy? They're not hurting anyone. Let people love who they love. Yes, 1000%. It's like if you kick somebody, it's a preference, it's a desire, it's something that, it's no different than I don't like ketchup on my hamburger. Obviously, there's a lot more complexity to that. That is like the basis of that. But nobody gets like murdered for not liking mustard. I mean, statistically, maybe somebody did in the world, but you know what I'm saying? You know, I don't know why somebody just, there's a guy, they like a guy. Sorry. It's not your preference. It's not your desire. It's not your want. That's fine. It's not hurting you in any way, shape, or form. Let's see. Actually loved his coming out scene and made me cry like a baby. Me too, man. Me too. I don't know what I am, but I think I'm either bisexual or asexual. But what I'm looking for is a romantic relationship and their personality. So maybe I mean, that's also valid because you can be asexual and still want romance, still want the connection, still want that. It also doesn't mean that you don't have sex, because there are plenty of asexual people that do. You know, they just don't crave it or desire it, but they'll do it. You know, it's everything is a spectrum, man. Everything. And sometimes it's difficult to navigate that. My thing is that homosexuality is a thing even in nature. There were 2 male penguins who were together, and then one of them died, and then other recognized him as his mate dying. All the penguins did as well. I mean, it happens not just with penguins, but it happens in a lot of species in the animal kingdom. Also, if we want to talk about people that hold up on a pedestal of masculinity, people love to go to the Greek and Roman empires and stuff like that, and they were fucking dudes all over the place. I mean, with the Spartans, that was something the soldiers did as a bonding thing. Like, it's just rife with it. All of history, culture, It's everywhere. Win for the Greeks. Like, it's just like, I don't know, man. I don't know. You go, Omni, I love you, your heart. I lived in rural Florida and rural GA in the 90s. Gays existed in both. Yes, they did. Piggyback on your comments about the ignorant statements. Oh, I already read that one. Sorry, I thought that was the new one. Penguins smarter than their humans for real. Spin facts. Finished stream 4 hours. They ain't the Snyder's Justice League. When he died, the other songs sang and ranked by the Penguins. Did their mate pass away in the song? But by the Penguins doing that, Penguins saw him as a significant other. Gay Penguins. Hell yeah. Let's all breathe and count to 10. Yeah, it does happen. Forced to come out. Yeah, it does happen. I was forced to come out and I was terrifying. That's why half my family is basically non-existent. And that scene was perfect, and I don't care what people say. It represented a lot. And people act like gays were invented in the 90s and late 2000s. Like it's some new thing and they never existed. Like, the civil movement started in the 60s and 70s. I'm pretty sure 70s is when it really caught the wave. Because through the 80s and 90s, you had the whole AIDS wave, that trying to get that taken seriously. Like, people don't know. Me in 2003 waiting for the release of Gay. Oh my God. People are dumb as fuck, man. Best needle drop was Iron Maiden's The Trooper after Dustin's speech. That band does not get enough needle drops. I'll second that for this season. I think that was my favorite needle drop of this season. Am I shipping a Zero Fell and Crowley? You bet your ass I am. Yes, I definitely am. The bisexual DLC goes crazy from what I've heard. Are you excited to see Deadpool and Wolverine in Doomsday? Are they confirmed for Doomsday? I'm excited to see whoever shows up in Doomsday. You can say anybody. I'll be like, hell yeah, sure. Yeah, don't forget the transgender mod pack. Oh my God, dude. Like, people, I think the thing that people are confusing is that maybe it's only entered their purview thanks to social media. That they have this skewed reality that it didn't exist because they didn't see it. And now social media, it's just like everybody's got a voice, everybody's got a shared outlet, a shared pool where you can see all this different stuff. Obviously in media, it's starting to pick up because representation is at least trying to get better, because these civil movements there's still a lot of work to do, but they're doing the work. But yeah, we're supposed to be a land for equality for everybody, and it's like, yeah, but not you. We're Americans. It's so un-American to be anything other than accepting. Same with Christianity, by the way. Just saying. Even if it is a sin, it's still just a sin. Like, if you want to look at it that way, I don't believe that it is. But if you want to look at it that way, it's no different. It's not even considered any different than getting drunk or hurting somebody or stealing or this, that, the other, cheating on your wife, which I'm sure half these people probably did. You know, whatever. The point is that at the end of the day, whatever it is, we're all sinners. Nobody's clean. Nobody's innocent. Who's half of these people to judge? Like, it's just so counter. Like, if you stuck by what you believe, it just seems so counter. I'm sorry we keep coming back to it. It's just like, it just irritates the absolute hell out of me. And I can't get away from it. Yes, Sabrina. Yes. I wish people would just mind their own business and let people live their lives without judgment. Yeah. Remember when I came out as bi to someone, they were like, in God's eyes, being gay is worse than sin. Where does it say that? Nowhere does it say that. All sins are equal in God's eyes. Other than, I think, self-deletion, I think, is the only one that is arguably ever stated to be worse than the others. I'm a Christian, and I agree. Every human is a sinner, and also God loves every one of his children. Why would it be a sin to love freely? That's another thing. For me, a God that abhors love, lust is different. I've said this multiple times. An entity or deity or anything that abhors love can fuck off. I'm sorry. I don't believe any loving, all-encompassing entity would abhor love. Genuine love. Yeah. Like, you know what, I'm just gonna go sleep around. I'm just gonna go cheat on my wife. I'm gonna go do this, that, and the other. I'm gonna go live in sin, or whatever the fuck you wanna call it. Sure, might be a little whatever. You know, people do you. You know, consenting adults are going to consenting adult. You know, however you want to view promiscuity, that's one thing. But love, fuck right off. Yeah, I just don't. Where are we at here? I don't even know where I was, where anything was going on. I'm sorry about Byler's bullying you. I did not know. Also did not know it was because of them too that was badly rated. I just tried to defend respectful people having imagination and fun with ships, and that's perfectly fine. It's just it's when that becomes more than that. But this is the one time it's wild to me too that you have a subsect of the gay community or queer. I don't know what these Bylers are. There's a spectrum of people that do the shipping that get really deep into it. You get all of them who are fighting for this pairing, siding with homophobes to bring this season down for very different reasons. But the fact that is the fact that when that happened, I kind of knew this was going to happen though. The fact that those two groups are joining forces is also weirdly ironic. Cobra Kai ending or Stranger Things ending? I mean, Cobra Kai was perfection. Whole way through. I loved it. I think they were consistent the entire way through. Cobra Kai, I think, is... this is me. I love Stranger Things. Cobra Kai, I think, nailed it better of the two. I think they both did, but Cobra Kai, I think, really nailed it. I always thought that Yelena and Bob would be a couple because they shared their own trauma and helped each other through the move on. But I think that's just how they stay friends. You just don't have Yelena get with anyone. She's arrow ace in the comics. John was technically Cap, but not in my heart. Walking Dead Season 8 was where they killed off Carl, which was BS. Yes, which is also why I was like, now you should end it. If you're not going to continue with Carl, just end it. Season 9 was my favorite season, personally. It was okay. It was okay. The 12 kids, Stranger Things, who went through all the stuff. True. True. I think they're saying the kids Vecna took. I don't remember what we were talking about when this came out. John Walker was unlucky, bro. Lost his friend, killed a bad guy a little too violently. Yeah, lost his respect to his people. No, Doomsday probably. He probably paid off the Turnbow family because no way none of them faced jail time for drugging and kidnapping. Because it's not like I cannot believe that the truth would get out. I think if people knew the truth, it'd be very different. But yeah, something happened to happen there. But then again, in 80s films and all this kind of stuff, your heroes always walk away with, no matter what they did, with no consequences most of the time. It's a very 80s thing to do, but it is hilarious. My question was, how did they keep the 12 kids Vector took from talking about everything that happened? Oh, that's what you meant when you were like, did they pay them? I mean, shared trauma, they might just honestly, like, actually have kept their mouths shut. I can believe after going through what they did, they might have just actually just not talked about it. Did Stranger Things season 5 finale beat the Breaking Bad finale? To me, no. Breaking Bad is a perfect series. As close to perfect as a series can be. And I think the finale is exactly what it needed to be. Breaking Bad, I think that is the pinnacle of television in my mind. So this, no. No. Stranger Things does not beat Breaking Bad to me. Have I watched Pluribus? Yes, I've watched it all on Patreon. I've watched it all. My reactions are all on Patreon for that right now. I'm hoping to bring it to YouTube in the new year now, at some point, but it is currently all on Patreon. John did get a divorce of his wife after he was so worried about too much losing his career in the Shield. His wife left him when he didn't look after us. Right. I forgot about that. Hope Luke and Ahsoka meet again in canon. Me too. Anywhere by Evanescence would guide me out of the Upside Down has been on a loop. That's a good one. I love me some Evanescence. Don't have a favorite song, but if I was to grasp me, I would lose love for Legos or something. I mean, now that we know, like, it's not exclusively music, it could be a lot of things. Opens a lot of doors. I wonder if we'll get any news on My Adventures with Superman Season 3 like that show. It's been really quiet for a while now, isn't it? I used to think Game of Thrones Season 8 would only be the long night over multiple episodes. I don't think that would have... I didn't really think that, but... I don't know. There's just too many things to kind of ponder about that one. I'm a Walking Dead Season 11 defender. There's some... after Season 8, I cannot tell you what happened in what season. There are some things that I did like that happened post Season 8. I didn't love Season 8 as a whole either. And they did commit the sin of killing Carl, but, like... the story thematically wrapped up. Everything after that, I think, dragged it on a little too long. I just don't remember which Season 11 was. Mandalorian Season 3 Defender. Same. Big same on that one. Doubt anybody knows Dr. Stone here, but I'm a defender of the manga ending. Yep, I don't understand that one. I might be doing a rewatch of the Arrowverse. That's quite the chore. I've been kind of itching to do the same, though, as well. I think the spinoff could be set in the 90s. I think nostalgia for that. I mean, that would be kind of cool. I do also like that, just like with that 70s show, this show ended in 89. I mean, not on the new year, but like it stayed firmly in the 80s. Mandalorian Season 3 gives me a shock after the guest appearances from Jack Black and Christopher Lloyd and Lizzo, all in the same episode. Watch the table read for the reveal of Will's white eyes, and Millie is sitting next to him at the table going, "You're like me! Now you have to deal with the nosebleed." Yeah, I did see that clip. Which brought out more tears, Eddie's death or Will's coming out speech? I don't know. I'd have to like go back and rewatch. I feel like I was ugly crying with Eddie's death. I think on that level, because also I relate to Eddie in a lot of ways, and that killed me. Will's thing, I was more happy than anything. That was like happy tears. Eddie's was sad tears. It was two different kind of reactions. I would probably say more water left my eyes with Eddie. I didn't watch Frozen Empire, liked Afterlife. It was a lot needed from Ghostbusters. Justice for Muse the cat. I need Caleb to use his magic to bring back Muse the cat. I know you're going to watch them for the cooldown period, Omni. Just letting you know that even though it's a filler, it still ties to Aqua Laguna and help the residents is a nice nod. Appreciate the information. Steve looking so proud of Dustin was adorable. Plus him in that suit at the end. Hello. I like that Robin and Steve didn't have a flashback because Vecna didn't really do anything to them personally. They were just there for the love of the game. Yeah, I did like that too. And then Glenn dies after the dumpster, like 6-ish episodes later. Yeah. Power Rangers, when was the last time you saw them show the aftermath of a Megazord fight? True. Fucking true. I hope the spinoff is another military incident of the unexplainable. I'd like something similar to that. I think that'd be just something new, paranormal, tied to the same concept in some way, but something different. No, we know the other dimensions exist as scientists are poking at things. They shouldn't. Would you want another series to deal with the abyss or a totally different dimension? Probably another dimension. I would prefer. If I would ever do content, I would always do something I want and post like with me playing tennis or something. I don't know, just something fun. I love to record stuff I find fun, like cooking. Cooking videos, man, those things do pretty well. Dude, I'm so excited for RE9, man. I am so in it. That was me with Attack on Titan. I saw it after a while after it came out, and I was 11. You should not have been watching that when you were 11. Anyway, I'm not one to talk, but the series ended when I was 20, and I was distraught. It's also just so good. Attack on Titan is one of the best, if not the best written anime I've ever watched. Glad you finished season 1 of Gravity Falls, but I'm just itching to get to Wormageddon, such an award-winning finale. Well, we'll get there eventually. Breaking Bad with Argyle. That'd be crazy. What's your favorite sci-fi or fantasy movie from the 2000s? Probably The Fellowship of the Ring. I had to make sure that came out in the 2000s. GTA 6 better be this year. Happy New Year to you too, Charlotte. 11 will return in Avengers Doomsday. Terry's already stuck with a terrible loop. Could have been cruel to loop her in on it further. Do you also have a strong mixed feelings of Charlie and her character and the writing in season 2 of Hazbin Hotel? I mean, you're not alone in that. A lot of people feel mixed about that. I like how it was handled a little bit. It did get a little repetitive, but I think I like what they did in the end. I think it was necessary. Now I'm really curious about moving forward though, now that she's kind of faced that demon and is willing to move forward and learn. Lily said, word for word, it had to happen that way. Yes. Yeah, I honestly don't know how I'm supposed to forget Stranger Things. That was my favorite show of all time. Moving on is the hard part, man. Moving on is the hard part. Letting the show go. Even if, like, the world continues, knowing that that story is over and those characters' stories ended is always going to be, is always difficult. Homophobes think about gay men more than actual gay men think about gay men at this point. It's crazy. Speaking of that, the whole, like, female protagonist in video games thing, that whole, like, thing, oh, there's too many women in video games, is like, dude, I'd rather stare at, I don't know what we're talking about here. I'd rather stare at the backside of a woman for the entirety of a game than a dude. And who's the gay one here? Like, people, like, there's some crazy shit. People float around this double entendre bullshit. Hey, sometimes I purposely make that happen just because I'm like, let's see. I actually love they show the love how they show. Wait, hold up. I actually love that they give us a flashback of how Will met Mike in the playground after he mentioned that in season 2. Same. I mean, that's almost how I met my first friend, though. It was just at a lunch table. I was just alone sitting there. Somebody came up and was like, hey, you want to be friends? I was like, sure. Pretty sure someone got killed over a chicken sandwich. I forgot what was specifically about it. I wouldn't be surprised if someone got stabbed for not liking mustard. The reason it was tried is because Stolas. Because it's like with Stolas and his character and the writing, the way he treats Octavia and Blitz, it's just like Charlie treated Vaggie, Lucifer, and Angel. Now that I don't agree with at all. I don't think there's really any similarities between how Stolas was behaving and Charlie. Yeah, I can't stand with you on that one. Yeah, really sorry for the people that lost family or friends for being gay. I'm happy with my mother accepted me and my other family. They're on the fence, but at least I'm still invited, so I'm really lucky. Yeah, I had an uncle that came out, and yeah, it was very, very mixed. And I mean, they ended up leaving the mortal coil as a result of probably a multitude of things, but a lot of that ill acceptance, you know. It's what happens, man. I personally was too young to have known him, so I never got to meet him, but I had heard the stories. It happened before. I think it happened before I was born. My aunt I never got to meet because she died in a car crash when I was 1. So I mean, there's family I just didn't get to meet. But I've heard the story. I've heard people talk about them. But it's just one of those things, you know, it's just, I mean, that's the reality of it sometimes. I mean, it's one of the main reasons people try to keep it a secret. And I think Will would have had this situation. He probably would have bottled it up. He probably would have kept that in. Maybe his entire life. Some people never let it out of the cage. Because of that fear, that dread of the potentiality of someone important to you turning on you. Stephen Harrington will return in Avengers Doomsday. Hell yeah, man. Do you think Marvel should keep letting these leaks happen? It's not really in their control, really. If you had a van, what would you put on the side of it? Wizard Dragons Landlord White?
That's a good question. I don't know. Well, not a van. Like, I did want to get like a Supra and decal it with like the Nine Tails design. Like the front has like the teeth and the eyes and stuff, and then the tails wrap around the body going back. That was something I thought about once upon a time. Maybe something to do with like the nine-tailed fox or something like that, or just like something Kingdom Hearts themed. I'm not sure. But if we're talking specifically like D&D stuff, dragons for sure. Yeah, it's literally the reason I'm forever shouting. Just because it's new to you doesn't make it new for everyone. For fuck's sake, exactly. Yeah, we touched on that. We touched on this. Yeah, if God exists as like these Christians, I don't want to be in heaven. Yeah. Same. As somebody who identifies as a struggling Christian. Yeah. Yep. Keanu Reeves and Kihei Kwan are the only sinless, perfect people on the planet. Hey, I would never put them that high on the pedestal. I'm sure if we want to classify it, sure, they most certainly have. The thing is, they're just good people. But everybody, in one way, shape, or form, if you look at whatever, everybody's sinning in one way, shape, or form. No one is absolutely innocent. They don't let the world beat them down or change who they are. Yeah, I don't know how Christianity works in the USA. I don't know how it works over there. Maybe it functions a little bit differently. But I feel like the Christian family I grew up in here in my country, and even my friends, are pretty accepting on that. Yeah, I mean, if only, I don't know what makes it different, but yeah. I wish that was a little bit more the case here. Fair point. Not totally convinced about the timing, but I get that he needed to get it off his chest. In fact, I played on his fear. Just wanted less talk, more action for the penultimate episode, I guess. I can get that. I saw it as the calm before the storm, because episode 7 was like the buildup. Everybody was prepping. Everybody was airing. We had the moment between Steve and Dustin. We had the moment with Will. We had the stuff with Max. We had a lot of people like breathing, catching up, airing out before going off, because this might be the last time. If they go off and they all die, these things are left unsaid. Dustin and Steve die, not resolving everything. Will, the whole gang could die never knowing him or never being known. You know, it's a lot of these things like, we might die, this is the only time we have to talk about any of this. You know? It's not always the opportune time or maybe the ideal time, but it's almost like, well, if it's not now, we might not ever be able to do this. Will's situation is different because it literally is a key point to the fight, but it also serves the same purpose. If you've ever seen it, you should look up Bo Burnham's From God's Perspective. Oh, God. Yeah, I might have to look that up later. For the few people that watched The Midnight Club, there's a really, really great exploration of character, of like one of faith and one of the kids who came out during the show. Or I think they were actually out in the show. And Mike Flanagan is a deity of the pen. I'm so sad that show never got a second season, but they talk about the contradiction of faith versus and love, that whole thing between these two characters, because one of the kids, because it's a show about terminally ill kids, So it's fucking depressing. But there's a lot of hope and light in it. And one of the characters is a, like, extremely obsessively devout Christian who initially has issues with one of the other kids in that way because he's gay. Over the course of the show, that those interactions lead to understanding, empathy, and trust and change. And where it ends in the end of it, I think is absolutely beautiful. That show was just really good. I'm sad. I'm so sad they didn't get to continue it. Best ending: Sandman season 2 or Andor season 2? Talking ending. I mean, I think Sandman just overall is better, but I don't know. I love them both. That's always tough because it comes down to, when I'm talking about last year, it comes down to these two shows for me. Maybe Andor. Like, if we're talking just the ending. Yeah, Carl's death in The Walking Dead was so unnecessary. I cried like a baby when I watched it. Had a crush on Chandler as he was a teen like me in the show, and I watched it with my brother, and he was mad. Also, just when you find out the behind the scenes reason, it just makes it that more ridiculous and absurd and rage inducing. Elle's fate in the finale instantly reminded me of how they wrote James Flint's ultimate fate in Black Sails, and I think it worked perfectly. I've never seen Black Sails, so that reference is lost on me, but it's not the only time that that's happened, and I think they handled it pretty well. We had another one here. After all the brutality Henry inflicted, Joyce needing multiple blows to end him with Chef's kiss. Also, because that means he was still alive through most of it. My inner Tudor history nerd was smugly satisfied. Same. It wouldn't have been so sweet if the axe was very sharp. Bye, guys. Love y'all. I will watch y'all sleep. Oh no. Have you seen the Stranger Things edits where they put Walter White in them? No, I don't think so. I've seen one where they put like Breaking Bad characters in Marvel situations, but I have not seen the reverse. Like of this, I haven't seen these edits. Really sorry for missing the lives lately. I'm tired and exhausted from work, but I have a couple questions. What's your honest opinion on season 1 of Gravity Falls? And who's your favorite creature? What's your honest thoughts on Bill Cipher? And yes, we started watching Gravity Falls. He used to scare me. And do you have any guess on what Stan is building? I mean, some kind of portal into some other realm or dimension. I think maybe he's trying to build some kind of gate to access something. Maybe he lost someone. Maybe he lost. I loved it. Season 1's a lot of fun, very episodic, not as serialized as season 2 has been so far, but it was just a lot of fun, a lot of coming of age, a lot of fun, great, poignant life lessons, especially for kids, especially for young boys, since Dipper is kind of our primary character here, but it's just great for kids in general, I think, in a lot of ways. Dipper's my favorite character. Favorite creature? I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to ponder that one for a little bit. I can't remember all of the creatures. I'm gonna go with the Candy Demon from Summerween. Bill Cipher, fun, funny, powerful, just a fun little guy. Didn't scare me, though. I do think that there's definitely the possibility for him to be an unhinged and like wild, like definitely a wild card kind of character. But yeah, no, he's just a fun little guy. I can't wait to get more of him. Movies, shocking ending, Infinity War or The Mist? I've never seen The Mist, but I know how it ends. Infinity War, maybe? Favorite teaser for Doomsday, Thor or Cap? The Thor one, definitely. Rooftop discussion scene, did you think Nancy was dressed like season 1 Scully from X-Files? I got that vibe. I mean, kinda. It's almost the exact same fit. But that wasn't immediately where my brain went, surprisingly. Just finished binging the Mighty Nine series, so now I get to watch your reactions. Hell yeah. Hope you enjoy. It was my first ever anime, and yeah, it was so good. I watched a lot of shit I shouldn't have when I was a kid, but I'm fine, probably. Yeah, Attack on Titan is so goddamn good. Do we have any Star Wars sequel trilogy defenders? I'm not amongst them. Anyone else in here, feel free to chime in and out yourselves. Do you have any well-known classic film that you have no intention of watching? I've never watched the Godfather trilogy and get amused at my friends getting annoyed about it. I wouldn't say there's no well-known classic film I have no intention of watching. It's just being in the mood and finding the time. That's going to be the rare opportunity. I don't think there's anything like where I'm just like, I don't want to watch that. Knowing that Charlie didn't show any concern for her dad when he was literally passing out when she was speaking to Serpentius. Rude. I get that. He'll be fine. He can't die. Pentious, like she's finally seeing him face to face. I feel like that makes sense. Never in story or running up that hill. What song stuck with you the most throughout the series, if any? I mean, running up the hill between those two for sure. Running up the hill, 100%. I'm an Andor series defender. Well, Andor the series is fucking amazing, so I don't think it needs much defense, but if anybody's coming down on it, I'm there for it. So good to be by. I get the best of both worlds. Come here, Leon Kennedy and Ada Wong. Hello. Yeah, you selfish bitch. I jest. That is the thing too. You do have like, your pool is just increased. Your options are increased. Get to taste and experience more of the world that way. So I get it. But just like I'm a picky eater, I'm a picky lover as well. Let's see. Just like I can appreciate the appeal of a good-looking meal or a good-looking salad, this doesn't mean I'm going to eat it. Or I like the taste. I don't think you need to defend Andor. A lot of people love that show, right? I mean, yeah, for sure. What's up, Kate? Let's see. Get tinted windows with Gravity Falls episode screenshots on them to cover your face and keep it lore accurate. Someone in Ultra Dimension got a VW bus covered in flowers. Oh, you got one, yeah. Honestly, I don't know why people thought Byler was happening, because that was never even teased in the show. Right. No one's senseless. We're all humans. How differently do you think the perception of Stranger Things Season 5 will have been if it came out all at once or in another pattern? I feel like if it came out all at once, it might have been received a wee bit better. Obviously, the people that are tanking the scores on the episodes, which in turn is affecting the overall season, that would have still happened. But I think the overall, maybe general audience reception might have been a little bit easier. And that's how it goes with the penultimate episodes, preparing for the finale. Exactly. Unless you're Game of Thrones and the penultimate episode is technically the finale and the episode after is like the breath after the epilogue. Game of Thrones created a pattern of that for a while where you'd have the big crazy shit on the penultimate episode and the episode after would be like the fallout of it. The coming down. Love the Stranger Things finale. Wrapped up everything a lot better than I thought. I'm a bit sad that we never got to see Robin and Vicky's date at Enzo's though. That's true. I would have liked to see that. There's a lot of things I would have liked to have seen, but yeah, I get that. By the way, did you see someone drew a picture of you as a has-been hotel character in an art channel on Discord? Don't watch the show, but it looked really good. like recently? If so, I have not checked. I don't think I've popped in Discord since our conversation the other night. Midnight Club ruined me. Midnight Club was a difficult watch because it was, I mean, how could it not be? You're watching a show about terminally ill teenagers trying to come to terms with the fact that their already short, brief lives are coming to an end. And by the end of it, it's so hopeful, so bright, so uplifting. Yeah, I cried a lot watching that. But that's just Mike Flanagan, man. He's just so good. Yeah, the ending of Bly Manor was depressing as well. Dude, Bly Manor, Midnight Mass, all of them, dude. Fucking Hill House. Which Star Wars show do you want to continue, Obi-Wan or Skeleton Crew? Out of the two, Skeleton Crew. What if Dr. K is the daughter of Papa? She's way too old to be his daughter. She seemed like older than him. I mean, she is older than him. I think in real life too. Yeah, not everyone has to be related. Stand By Me ending got me emotional. Rest in peace, River Phoenix. Yeah, that one, yeah, for sure. I know with these cataracts, I might as well be. What was that, a woodpecker? It's my favorite joke from Gravity Falls. That joke is hilarious to me. Hey, how they ended DuckTales 2017 reboot and Uncoupled on Netflix. Why do companies do this? I still haven't watched the finale of DuckTales 2017 because I refuse to let it end. So I've never watched the finale. I've still never seen it. I've seen every episode but the final episode right now. It's been that way for a couple years. Do you think it's weirder for someone who doesn't like cheese, doesn't like sweets, or doesn't like bacon? I'm gonna say it's cheese. I can understand not liking bacon, even though I fucking love bacon. I'm also not a sweet guy, but I understand the appeal for sweets. Cheese, though, is just like, come on, man, it's cheese. I've never watched the Lord of the Rings movies, but I will. Yeah, last year I rewatched the trilogy probably 6 or 7 times throughout the year, because sometimes I've just got to put it on. But yeah, praying for those Amazing Digital Circus reactions. Yeah, I'll get to it. I promise I'll get to it. The creator you shouted out, Ren, started the Amazing Digital Circus. Would love to see you watch it as well. Let's see. Leave some for the rest of us. Finally on Netflix. It's gonna. Happy New Year from the UK. Bit late for the stream. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas and New Year. You as well, Joe. Picky lover? I'm not picky. Then again, standards are low nowadays. I was only making a joke about that because I'm straight. So like I don't have like this diverse pool of tastes and sensibilities when it comes to like, you know, having options. I mean, there's still options, but anyway, I was just making a joke about that. But I am a picky eater though. Super picky, almost annoyingly picky. It's hard to make friends nowadays. Can't imagine looking for a partner. Yeah, it's a bitch, man. I'm glad on that front. Marvel got me so disappointed that I wanted the villain so bad. It's just Jude Law would return, getting revenge, and finally against Captain Marvel. Art got mentioned 2 hours later, and I already forgotten I posted that. Still need to post it on Insta. So it's you, Skelly. I need to figure that out. I need to go in there and take a look. You know what? Fuck it. Live reaction time. You're here. Let's put you on the spot. Yo, that's so cool. I love the reaction shot concept. I can dig it. I can dig it. It's really good. I like the reference photos up there at the top. Hell yeah. Young Rock's story with Carol was done, plus it was a great villain. Kind of wish he would have seen Joyce in Hopper Wedding 2, but it would have been a longer finale, I get it. Jump scare, Maha, thank you, Tia. Would you watch the Peaky Blinders? I need to give that another chance. I tried watching the first episode and I could not, I was struggling to let it keep my attention. Every episode of, episode 9 of Game of Thrones, right? Reigns of Castamere? Yeah, every episode 9 for the most part. George R. R. Martin does not like weddings. No, he does not. Where can I watch Midnight Club? It's on Netflix, right? I think it's it was Mike Flanagan's last Netflix project. Incorrect. That was Fall of the House of Usher. Also brilliant. But it's on Netflix. Didn't know you watched DuckTales 2017. It was a great series, yes. Watched it in my own time. So good. So fucking good. Don't say that you're such a sweet guy. If you watch Lord of the Rings, watch the extended. Yes, that's the only way to do it. Extended. Let it get deep inside you. This month or next month, theaters are doing a marathon or a re-release of the extended films in theaters. I'm going to do that. I'm going to hurt, but I want to do that. I've only seen Fellowship in theaters. I never saw Two Towers or Return of the King in theaters. I didn't really get my appreciation for them until later. Like I said, I only watched Fellowship because I was with my family and I didn't want to see the movie that they were taking the other kids to go see. Because I was like the oldest one that was tagging along there, my brother and then our cousins and stuff, and a lot of them were younger, so they were going off to watch some kiddie movie. I don't remember what it was, and I was like, can I just go watch something else? And they were like, sure. I went to watch Lord of the Rings. Joke's on them. They had to wait like an hour for my movie to end after theirs, which none of us really considered, which was kind of funny. Watch The Hobbit first, then The Lord of the Rings. I don't know that I agree with this. Chronologically, it makes sense. It's sound, but I don't know if I would recommend that. Okay, you've already watched the Hobbit movies, then never mind. You're good. Basically, 3 things I might want to say. Recent tabs are VW, Bus, Midnight Mass, River Phoenix, and Bacon. That's hilarious. I've got like 70 tabs up. I don't know what half of them are anymore. In your old Stranger Things Season 1 reaction, you mentioned recognizing Natalia Dyer from Dead by Daylight. Do you ever engage with the game now? I know you're busy and slowly getting through FF7. I've only watched playthroughs. I don't like the game. I don't have fun playing D by D. I just, I've seen a lot of people play it, and I knew there was a character pack and she was in it. And that's what I recognized her from. I don't play it. I don't participate. I've never really done so. I've tried. I was more interested in that Friday the 13th game, though. That I had fun with, though. Any horror action movie recommendations for me to watch? Bring Her Back and Talk to Me. The Raka Raka Brothers, the Philippa Brothers, their movies are awesome. Watch that one. It's on Netflix. 10 hours plus of perfection. Had to be edgy, eh? Missed Fellowship in cinema, but I watched Two Towers of Return. I watch Endgame in theaters when it re-releases. I've never seen either. Oops. I want to add that I do know what bacon is. I just really want bacon. I guess I remember the part from Fairly Odd Parents. VW Bus, Midnight Mass, River Phoenix, Bacon. Fun fact, Bill appears in the Owl House, Season 1, Episode 4. He shows up alongside many other demons King is trying to teach Luce about in his Demons 101 course.
I can't remember if I noticed, because obviously, like, when I started that, I know of him. I knew of him. I can't remember if I noticed that or not. Yeah, horror-wise, I'm not sure what else is going on this year in 2026. But, all right. While, obviously, just to get through this and not go for another extra hour, I know I skipped around quite a bit. We've caught up, at least with the current chat. I've been keeping up with everything that's come up in the recent bit. But I think we're going to call it there. We had a very lively, excitable, passionate discussion about Stranger Things and the world and all kinds of other shit. So hope everybody takes a breath, enjoys the rest of your evening, and just let people do what they do. Love who they love, be who they are, and yeah, just stay out of their business. It's okay. Love everybody. Love yourself. Love the people around you. Love the people in the world. Spread love. Anyway, guys, take it easy. I'm gonna get some food.